Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto has harem with femme haku Tenten and hinata. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by hiro himura and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Introduction, Chapter Hitsuzan. We shall not cease our exploration, and at the end of our exploring, will be to arrive where we started and know it for the first time. T.S. Eliot. The world is infinitely large, full of a myriad of wonders, and yet to those ignorant of it, the world is extremely small. What one perceives with his sense of touch, smell, sight, hearing, and taste. Their worlds are limited to that small space. In that way, destiny is brought into the lives of men. If a man believes the only thing he will amount to is a poor farmer like his father and grandfather before him, then he most likely will end up a farmer. If one decides his destiny is decided, then it most likely is, and if a person believes his destiny is what he makes of it, then he is most likely right. This is the story of a man yet to realize his destiny. The story about a boy growing into a man. This is the story of three unlikely ninja, teammates, lovers. But most of all, this story is about Hitsuzan. Tenten's parents were claimed by the Nine Tails on the first day of its attack. Utterly and hopelessly outmatched by the terrifying nine-tailed demon fox, the two greatest weaponsmiths and weapon ninjas ever to reside in the land of fire died protecting their comrades, their village, and their beautiful daughter, who was just turning one. Soon afterwards, the fourth Hokage gave up his life to seal the Nine Tails forever in the navel of a newborn child. Before he died, he christened the small blonde boy Uzumaki Naruto. He passed his will of fire to the infant, positive that the boy would be praised as a hero, that this baby would become the greatest Hokage ever. 6 years passed and both Tenten and Naruto lived on their own, either taken in by Konoha's orphanage, crammed to the rim as it was by orphans from the Kyuubi attack. By a stroke of luck or maybe fate, the two rambunctious kids lived in the same apartment complex, and the two orphans soon became fast friends, their bond strengthened by their mutual loneliness. Whenever the landlord or one of the tenants would hassle Naruto, which was fairly often, his big sister Tenten would chase off the offenders, usually with a mace, a sword, or one of her other many weapons. Whenever this happened, Tenten usually wondered why Naruto got in so much trouble with everyone, but she didn't want to bring up any painful memories, so she never asked, and it didn't seem to the young weapons mistress that Naruto knew the reason for it anyway. The two of them trained together after their classes were done, and they grew to be very close. And as his senpai, who was 1 year ahead and already a hot shot, literally, in the academy, Tenten would show Naruto how to throw a kunai or make a bunshin. Unfortunately, Naruto was never very good at either, still he had found family with Iruka and Tenten, and that was enough. Time skipped to after Land of Waves arc. The day after the return from the wave, Naruto and Tenten were in their usual training ground by a stretch of the river that ran through Konoha. Actually, Tenten was waiting around for Naruto, and Naruto was swinging around a huge 8-foot metal Zanbato that he had gotten from a friend in the Land of Waves. Okay kid, it's the moment of truth. Smear your blood on the blade of the sword. Then yell, I take the sword of justice. Flourish it around a bit, then do that funny dance I taught you. The Kyuubi was making his cage a little more presentable. He swept the floor, put up a window on the cage wall, and hid all his dirty magazines under his couch. If a new part of Naruto's soul was coming here, he wanted the place to be presentable. He was the demon lord of hell, and he'd be damned before he was looked down upon. You can't be serious. Of course I am, Kit. This is all completely necessary to convert this dull, lifeless sword into your own personal dull toothpick-sized weapon. Think of this sword as a kind of vessel. The outer shape and abilities are unique to the user who bonded with that sword, but the sword itself is just a receptacle to materialize your soul on the physical plane. Are you sure there's no catch? Naruto asked skeptically. Of course not, Kit. You won't have to pay a thing. Besides, weren't you grumbling about how you wanted to be stronger than that stupid Uchiha? The Kyuubi responded. Yeah, but if it's so easy to do this, why didn't Zabuza ever make this into his own Zanpakuto? Naruto asked. Well, that's hard to say. To say the least, Naruto was more than a little confused. Still, it couldn't hurt that much, except for, well, his pride. The Kyuubi container imitated Jiraiya's introduction dance, the one he did when he first met Naruto, spun around 3 times all while holding Zanbunza's huge sword, and planted the Zanbato's blade a foot into the earth. Naruto went through 10 hand signs, bit his thumb, and smeared the blood onto Zabunza's head chopper cleaver. I take the sword of justice inside. The Kyuubi was doubled over with laughter. The kid really is an idiot, following my instructions like a fool, the Kyuubi thought. Tenten's sweat dropped as she watched Naruto basically make an idiot out of himself, but changed her mind as she watched Naruto effortlessly pluck the massive blade from the ground with one hand. A massive wave of light shrouded the Zanbato. When it disappeared, the sword that remained did not even resemble Zabuza's. The sword he now held in his hand barely resembled the giant metal cleaver he had a second ago. For one thing, it a lot smaller. The sword now resembled an elegant katana. Its blade was a pale silver with a white/bluish tempering on the sharp side. It had a black hilt and pommel, and had the standard katana cross-weaving in orange. The guard was the standard square guard made out of a strange goldish metal, the kind Zanpakuto's guards in Bleach are made out of, with one spiral in the upper right-hand corner of the guard and a hole of the same size opposite that, and the sheath was also an orange bordering on red. Tenten asked Suga. Naruto-kun, you did it, but was all that dancing completely necessary? Inside the kids, the QB snickered evilly. Tell her it is Kit. Although, we wouldn't want a big bad demon embarrassing you in front of your sexy little vixen now, would we? In a nearby tree, a feminine ninja with a white mask watched as the blonde ninja yelled, Hey! Don't call her that, Tenten-chan is the nicest, nicest girl I know. Naruto yelled mentally, defending his longtime friend. So you do think she's pretty, I wonder, the QB mused. Hey! You tricked me. I had to trail Jiraiya for 3 days before he did that dance, and it took me 2 more to get it just right. Naruto yelled this time out loud, changing the subject as he blushed, and it wasn't even necessary. Too bad, Kit, just goes to show you not to trust a fox. The QB started to maniacally laugh until Naruto threatened to mentally shrink the cage. Being as cramped as it was, the QB didn't want to take any chances. Inside Naruto, the QB was rattling the bars to his cage, in vain. Soon, Kit, your Zanpakuto's spirit will awaken and your future will unfold. I must say I'm a little sorry I won't be around to see it. Still, I'm a little proud, Kit. This was none of my doing. All of this power is all you. Hidden carefully inside the branches of a nearby tree, a feminine, white-masked, hunter ninja crouched silently, watching as the blonde ninja jumped up and down, yelling loudly, apparently having a one-sided argument with himself, and losing. Laughing at the blonde genin's silly antics, she whispered to herself, Naruto-sama. The legacy of the fourth, a young man radiant as the sun, an orphan kunoichi, driven to be the best, an icy hunter nin, whose bloodline is as mysterious as her lineage. 3 orphans destined to meet on the bridge connecting the 2 worlds, bound together for eternity. There is a meaning, a purpose behind these events. It can be the smallest of things, the most trivial of circumstances. It may never be recorded, nor even remembered. After all, a bond of fate never disappears once tied. Hitsuzan, as noted by the Kodansha Japanese Desk Dictionary, 2nd edition, is not fate. Fate implies that we have no choice in our destinies, we are merely puppets, being strung along our entire times with no say in the matter. Hitsuzan is an unavoidable action or outcome in which other outcomes are impossible because without it the events linking to it would not occur. Nothing different could have been otherwise because then that would entail different circumstances. A butterfly's wings flap, and a hurricane appears halfway across the world. An unbroken series of connections follows any person's life. One's decisions always has a later effect on them. No matter how unimportant the meaning, how insignificant the decision, how small the initial outcome. Therefore all decisions and actions are related, and there can be no coincidence, only Hitsuzan. The way before these 3 is wide, complex, converging, splitting, into a myriad of destinies. Rather than being led down a path, they choose their own way. Hi, I'm Naruto. Chasm. Ah, Kit, I want to make up everything to you. I'm so sorry. Here, take this bloodline, these eyes, all my chakra, some ultra-powerful jutsu, and some tails and ears, all of which are superior to the Sharingan and Byakugan. No, they are not only superior, they are better than both combined. Now you can match Orochimaru, or even Itachi. Now go out there and have passionate sex with every female you can find. Not just one, heavens no, please, you must have multiple in order to sate your lust and rebuild your clan. Oh, and did I mention that you're the son of the 4th Hokage? I absolutely hate it when people do that. It just makes me roll my eyes, how poorly set up some fics are. I don't think there is a chance in hell of that ever happening. I know that people can write however they feel like, but God, that is just ridiculous. I believe as much as anyone else that Naruto should be able to get what's rightfully his. But through hard work and a long journey full of both ups and downs, not within the first 3 sentences of the first chapter in a story, I have pretty much decided what Naruto's Shurikai will be. If you have a sword design though, I'll be happy to look at it. Tenten's Shurikai and Bankai abilities and sword design are not decided yet, so please submit a design for them. I'd prefer an original design if possible. This story will eventually turn into a Haku Naruto's Tenten story. I hope you continue to read this story, even though it's not too interesting now, but I'm a strong believer in character development and background before action. I hate stories where Naruto becomes super powerful overnight, or when Hinata confesses her love to Naruto, and then they get together, and she automatically becomes confident. Things like that take time. As some wise people said, Rome wasn't built in a day. This story will at first be mostly canon with bits of Tenten in it, and slowly but surely, it will diverge away from the canon. By the end of the Chunin exams, it'll be completely different. On a side note, not that this has anything to do with my story, not really anyway, but I just thought about this as I wrote this chapter. How come Naruto never noticed that whenever he gathered chakra, a giant seal appeared on his chest? I can't believe anyone could miss a freaking tattoo the size of a 18-inch deep crust pepperoni pizza on their chest, especially when they're a ninja, a profession that requires one to channel chakra quite frequently. Honestly, how can you not notice that? That aside, I hope you enjoy the next exciting chapter of Descending Heaven. The night before the Genin exams, Uzumaki Naruto jumped up and down with joy. He finally made a decent Bunshin Jutsu, and by decent he meant 3 other only slightly deformed Naruto clones. The fox container had been practicing his jutsu and ninja skills from dusk till dawn for days, and the training ground was littered with shuriken, kunai, and scrolls. He had failed last year in the academy and Naruto knew he didn't want to stay in school another year. Becoming a genin meant that he would be able to go on missions, perhaps outside the village, which meant he would be able to escape all the glares and curses of the villagers and impress Tenten at the same time. With this in mind, Naruto strove to surpass his limited chakra control and create 3 perfect bunshin. Bunshin no jutsu. When the smoke cleared, Naruto was standing next to 2 perfect clones, except they were completely devoid of all pigment. He had made 2 completely white bunshin. Grunting from the effort, Naruto dispelled the clones and gathered his weapons in preparation for the academy exams. Feeling slightly worn out and sore, Naruto collapsed into his seat at the back of Iruka-sensei's classroom right before the bell rung. A certain pale-eyed Hyuga girl to his right blushed at the sight of her idol sleeping in class with a bit of drool coming out of the corner of his mouth. As usual, the rest of the class was in chaos. Paper airplanes flew through the air, boys talked and laughed at the top of their lungs, and Would-be Kunoichi swooned after Sasuke. Quiet! Iruka yelled at the top of his voice. His head swelled and turned red from the strain. Quiet, students! Regaining his composure, Iruka announced to the kids, your tests to see if you are eligible to be genin are about to start. I want all of you to do your best. If you do gain one of these headbands, Iruka tapped his Konoha leaf headband, remember that you now represent the Leaf Village, so make us proud. Your schedules for testing are posted on the wall. Good luck. Iruka crossed his hands and smiled at the job well done. Then the school teacher noticed a certain orange-wearing blonde at the back of the classroom. Hinata was standing behind him with a concerned look on her face. She was caught between concern for Naruto and embarrassment for being so near to her crush. Just as Hinata had mustered enough courage to bring her hand to Naruto's shoulder, to wake him up, Iruka appeared next to her. Hinata eeped with surprise and covered her hands over her mouth. Out came a muffled Iruka-sensei. Iruka smiled knowingly at Hinata. Thank you for looking after Naruto for me. You can run along now, Miss Hyuga. I'll take care of him. Hinata turned as red as a tomato and nodded once, muffling high, then headed out the classroom. Iruka cleared his throat. Naruto! Iruka yelled at the top of his lungs. The young blonde demon container comically jumped from sleeping in his desk to screaming his lungs out. Smacking Naruto on the head, Iruka continued his tirade. You moron, what are you doing? Didn't I tell you to get a good night's sleep before the test? What am I going to do with you, Naruto? Hurry up, go to the first exam. Hi, Iruka-sensei. Naruto saluted and marched military style to room 204. Inside was the horror of horrors, a paper test. Naruto sighed as he sat down. Writing his name on the top of the paper in squiggly script, Naruto cringed as he looked down to the first question. He hastily scribbled down an answer and turned the page. The fox container was surprised to find a question that he knew, then another, and again another. Before he knew it, Naruto was done with the written portion of the exam. After that came the shinobi tool and the bunshin part of the exam, with Naruto getting a bit above the average marks for the shinobi tools and managing to create 3 mostly correct bunshin. As they called the names alphabetically, after Uchiha Sasuke, Naruto rushed up to collect his headband. Just as he reached out to grab it, a proctor slapped his hand away. Reading off a clipboard, he said, Uzumaki Naruto, based on the scoring of your written test, your ninja tool results, and the bunshin you have made today, you fail. Naruto fell face first into the floor, anime style. What? I couldn't have failed. Naruto screamed. I created 3 bunshin and everything this year. The unknown proctor cleared his throat. Though you demonstrated basic comprehension of both jutsu and ninja tools, your written exam was not good enough to merit a passing grade. But I answered all the questions. Naruto responded. I couldn't have failed. I'm sorry, young man, but you seem to have neglected to finish the back page of the exam, the essay portion, which was worth most of the exam. He held up Naruto's test. Even if I forgot the last page, I passed the other 2 tests. That means I should still pass. Can he do that, Iruka-sensei? Iruka scratched the back of his head. Actually he can, Naruto. The written exam is worth 87% of the overall grade, which, now that you mention, is a little odd for an exam designed to test shinobi skills, but it's still the rules. I'm sorry, Naruto. Naruto was struck dumb. He failed again. I let Tenten-chan and myself down, again. The blonde-haired boy was struck with grief. Outside on a swing sat Naruto, staring at the academy children, who had graduated, and their parents. A tear rolled down his cerulean blue eyes to his whiskered cheek. He sat there on the swing long after the parents and children had gone home, long into the night, until he felt a warm hand on his shoulder. Deep in thought, Naruto nearly jumped from the contact. Without looking behind him, Naruto knew at once who it was. Only one person in the village touched or talked to Naruto without flinching, besides I am and old man Ichiraku, but they weren't here. He whispered, Tenten-chan, I'm sorry. Another tear appeared, then another, till he was silently sobbing. Concerned for her little brother, from behind Naruto, Tenten wrapped her arms around the depressed blonde shinobi in what she thought was a comforting, if somewhat awkward hug. She rested her chin on the shorter ninja's head. It's okay, Naruto-kun, really. You don't have to cry for me. I know how hard you trained to graduate this year, but there is always next time, right? You just can't give up hope, or else everything we've worked so hard to overcome, especially our parents' deaths, will be meaningless. The brown-haired weapon-crazy Kunoichi's eyes began to water also at the thought of her parents. Come on, Naruto-kun, let's go home. You shouldn't sit out here in the cold, you'll catch something. Tenten said, smiling, releasing Naruto from her hug. Hi Tenchan, just give me a minute. Naruto whispered, swaying back and forth on the old rickety wooden swing. Suddenly, Mizuki emerged from behind a tree. Hi Naruto. I've been looking for you. Let's talk, I'll treat you to some ice cream. Scene change. Sitting on the edge of one of Konoha's buildings, Naruto stared into the sun until his eyes watered, determined not to meet eyes with the smiling teacher. You know, Naruto, we are only doing this so you can become strong. Iruka-san in particular knows just how much you suffered. He is an orphan also. But listen, Naruto, what if I told you of another way to graduate? Mizuki proceeded to explain to Naruto how to get into the Hokage Tower, where to find the forbidden scroll, and told the unsuspecting blonde would-be shinobi that if he could learn one jutsu from the scroll he would pass directly beneath them, using her shinobi skill to remain hidden. Tenten listened to Mizuki's plan. She didn't trust that slimy teacher at all. That very night, Naruto snuck into the Hokage Tower, and with the help of his signature jutsu, managed to get away with the scroll. Mizuki had tricked Naruto into taking the scroll, but he was stopped by the timely arrival of Iruka and Tenten. Mizuki, however, was not done and soon took a strength-enhancing poison given to him by Orochimaru. With his newfound power, he was able to knock out both Iruka and Tenten. Seeing his precious persons being attacked, Naruto created 1,000 bunshin, easily beating Mizuki. The next day, the fox boy stirred as the sunlight hit his face. Rubbing the sleep from his eyes, Naruto noticed someone standing over his bed. The figure was dressed in black with a mask obscuring his or her face. An umbu? What are you doing here? Naruto asked. Uzumaki Naruto, you have been summoned by the Hokage. The masked ninja said, vanishing as silently as he had come. Changing into his normal orange and blue jumpsuit, Naruto decided to eat some breakfast. Heating up some water for cup ramen, Naruto began to water his plants. When the water was just about boiling, Naruto poured it into 5 cups and waited an agonizing 3 minutes for the ramen to cook. Minus 3.1 minutes later, Naruto patted his stomach. After consuming the 5 cups of ramen, Naruto decided to go straight to visit Tenten and Iruka at the hospital, then go to the Hokage Tower. As he was walking to the hospital and avoiding angry villagers, he noticed a quaint-looking flower shop. Going inside, he noticed a slightly familiar-looking girl with platinum blonde hair and purple clothes on. The girl was currently leafing through a magazine with a bored look on her face. Welcome to the Yamanaka flower shop, can I help Naruto? What are you doing in here? Ino asked. Naruto scratched the back of his head, looking a little embarrassed. Well, actually I'm here to get some flowers for a friend. This statement instantly lit up the nosy girl's eyes. A girl? Naruto blushed, kinda, therefore Tenten really. Oh, Naruto's got a crush. Ino giggled. Appearing slightly flustered, Naruto loudly protested. Inside Naruto's head, a fit of laughter could be heard kukukukuku. Suddenly, Naruto was standing in the middle of a sewer, in front of a pair of large wooden doors with a seal near the top of it. Inside, faint growling could be heard. What is this place? Naruto asked, to no one in particular. We are in your mind. A detestable place to be indeed, but the voice paused. Let me introduce myself. I am the great Kyubi no Kitsune, the great 9-tailed demon fox, the lord of all darkness, who rules the fiery pits of hell. Mohahahaha. A red claw the size of Ichiraku's ramen stand shook the bars, and Naruto could see the demon fox in all his glory. A huge red fox 100 meters tall with 9 red tails swaying in the wind. Naruto pointed. So you are the stupid fur ball that got me into this mess. The gigantic fox's mouth curved into what appeared to be a smirk. This kid's got guts for sure. I'm going to enjoy this. Bow down to me, mortal, for I hold the power of life and death in my hands. The Kyubi let out a furious bellow that shook the whole room. Naruto was shaken by the massive killing intent radiating off of the Kyubi. Listen here, fuzzball, I'm Uzumaki Naruto, and I'm going to be the next Hokage. So you don't scare me? I'll kick your ass? Naruto held a clenched fist in front of him as a challenge to the demon fox. Kyubi laughed again. Okay kid, okay, calm down. I just wanted to chat a bit. I've been stuck inside you for what, 14 years, and you don't even come to visit me? Visit you? What the hell are you talking about? Up till yesterday, I didn't even know you were alive. Naruto yelled. Na, Kyubi-tan, teach me a jutsu. No. I'm a 10,000-year-old demon lord of hell, not a jutsu library. I have learned a couple things in my brief interactions with humans over the centuries. However, I will keep those to myself for now, but here is a novel idea. Use the library. The library, huh? Where is that? Go ask your mate, the brown-haired vixen with the buns. I'm sure she knows the way. Naruto stuttered involuntarily at the mention of Tenten, before changing the subject. That reminds me, so everything Mizuki said is true. Yes, I am the Kyubi and I nearly destroyed the village hidden in the leaves. I was sealed by a stupid blonde-haired ninja, much like yourself, and ended up in this crap hole. But that aside, kid, I called you here for a reason. Us meeting was no mere coincidence. It was Hitsuzen. We were fated to meet, you and I. We are tied together by the blood-red bands of fate, and I will grant your wish. And my wish? Naruto asked. Of course, the fact that you are here is proof of it, but that is for the future. Right now, I'm just here to pal around and drink. Pal around? No way, that's it. I already have a wish, to become Hokage. Naruto screamed. You say that with your mouth, but not with your heart. You can't hide that kind of thing from me. Well, I was just thinking about Iruka-sensei and Tenten-chan's faces, and for some reason I'm not sure about what I want anymore. That's fine, Kit, you don't have to decide now, but you better get back to the real world. That blonde is getting worried about you. I'll contact you later. Naruto watched as the sewer suddenly vanished before his eyes, leaving only the serene atmosphere of the flower shop behind. Only then did Naruto notice Ino shaking him like a rag doll by the shoulders in an effort to wake him from his trance. Ino-chan, please. Stop shaking me. The other blonde-haired ninja immediately stopped and returned to her chair behind the counter. Naruto, you idiot, you worried my sick. 1 minute I'm talking to you and then the next you zone out like you aren't even listening to me. I've been trying to wake you up for the last 5 minutes, you baka. Gomen, Ino-chan. I must have had a heat stroke or something. So can you help me pick out some flowers for Tenten? Naruto gave his best fox grin and folded his arms behind his head. Letting out a frustrated growl, Ino proceeded to find Naruto some flowers. 5 minutes later she emerged from the back room of the shop with a mixed bouquet of daffodils for affection, yellow poppies for friendship, dahlia for elegance, and sunflowers for pure and lofty thoughts. If you feel like you can look this stuff up on Wikipedia under Language of Flowers, or Hanakatoba, paying for the flowers and 2 get well cards, Naruto walked to Konoha's one and only hospital. Hastily he scribbled out 2 get well messages in his chicken scratch writing for Iruka and Tenten. First he paid a visit to Iruka. Finding that the Chunin was asleep he placed his card, where he would see it when he woke up. Closing the door, the young Jinchuruki walked to Tenten's room. Naruto cracked the door open. Tenten appeared to be reading a blank for dummies book. Seeing she was awake and decent, Naruto burst into the room as loud and as abrasively as he possibly could. A vein bulged in Tenten's forehead as she heard the disturbance, and the bun-haired Kunoichi was about to tell the intruder off. Her eyes softened as she noticed the orange clothing and blonde hair. Naruto-kun, you came. Hi, Tenten-chan, I just wanted to see how you and Iruka-sensei were doing. I brought you some flowers and a card. Naruto gave his best fox grin, but it was clear that he was a little distressed at finding his 2 precious people in the hospital. That's sweet, Naruto, thanks. Tenten took the card first. Opening it, Tenten tried to decipher Naruto's deplorable handwriting. Giving up, she thanked the blonde-haired boy for the thought, which is what really counts. Setting the card near some other flowers and cards from her teammates and friends, the most noticeable being a bouquet of flowers resembling Guy's head, complete with huge eyebrows, Tenten took the bouquet of flowers from Naruto. After taking a whiff of their enticing aroma, she set them down near his card. The doctors say that I'll be fine to leave tomorrow or the day after. I just had chakra exhaustion and a few broken ribs. Iruka-sensei had a pretty big hole in his back though, he might have to stay here for a week or so. Tenten turned her head to the left and looked out her window, towards bustling Konoha below. Naruto waited a moment, not wanting to break the silence. When Tenten finally turned her attention away from the window, Naruto told her about the Hokage's summons of him. Is that bad? I'm not sure a meeting with the Hokage is a good thing right after stealing a scroll housing some of Konoha's most devastating jutsu. Tenten asked, worried. Naruto scratched his head. Don't worry about it. I'm sure that it'll be fine. Naruto grew more somber. But even if I get kicked out of the village, or put under Anbu surveillance, I'll still become Hokage, no matter what. Databeo. Tenten brought her hand up to her temple and shook her head slightly. Naruto can be so single-minded sometimes. I have a bad feeling about this meeting. She thought. Well, I'll tell you all about it tomorrow when you get out anyways. I gotta go meet the old man now. Bye, Tenten-chan. Opening Tenten's window, Naruto jumped outside, to the rooftops below, heading for the Hokage tower. I hope you are right, Naruto-kun, for your sake, Tenten thought. Leaping from rooftop to rooftop, Uzumaki Naruto made his way to the Hokage tower. Arriving at the red circular building, Naruto rushed through the doors leading to the Hokage room. Halt, demon boy, how dare you attempt to just walk in on the Hokage? You must have an appointment to see Hokage-sama, the Anbu guard said, holding Naruto by the scruff of his jacket. What are you talking about? You're the Anbu that told me I had a meeting today. Naruto responded. The rabbit-masked Anbu scratched the back of his head. I have no recollection of such an errand. Bastards, I'm going to be Hokage one day, and then you'll all have to bow down to me. Take this, my mightiest technique. Harem Jutsu, Harem Jutsu. Naruto created several Kage Bunshins and then using the Henge Jutsu turned them into sexy, naked, girl versions complete with whiskers, blonde hair and ponytails, and Japanese bath sauna smoke just barely obscuring the curvy feminine parts. The 2 male Anbu went bug-eyed at the sight of the many tantalizing female specimens. The girls proceeded to grope and fondle the 2 Anbu, causing blood to spurt in horrendous amounts from the 2 Anbu's noses, knocking off their masks and propelling them through a wall to the ground below. With the distraction now dealt with, Naruto walked into the Hokage's office. Like the many other times he had walked into the Hokage's office, the young Jinchuruki found himself in awe by the grandeur of the room, the finest quality wooden furniture, the many knickknacks collected over the years, and the pictures of the Hokage that came before mounted on the walls, his future dwelling when he relieved Jisan from his position. Naruto's eyes briefly glazed over. Naruto-kun, Sarutobi called, snapping the blonde ninja in training out of his daydreams. Sit down, please. I've called you here today for a special reason. I assume you know why you are here. Naruto looked down at his chair, avoiding eye contact with the Hokage. No, Jisan, you aren't going to kick me out of the village, are you? Sarutobi laughed. Kick you out? I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to talk to you about the Kyuubi and what happened yesterday. Naruto's face lit up like a firecracker. I'm not going to get punished, Yash. So you understand about your situation then? Sarutobi asked. Hi. Between Mizuki and the Kyuubi talking to me, I've got it all covered. The fourth Hokage sealed the demon Kyuubi into my stomach. That's why the villagers hate me. The Kyuubi contacted you? That is interesting. The Hokage took a long draft from his pipe. Naruto, I want you to tell me if you are experiencing any mood swings, or are hearing strange things from Kyuubi, okay? I'm going to trust that you are mature enough now to know when something is wrong. Striking a serious face, Naruto saluted the Hokage. Hi, Ji-san. And I'll be back for your hat in no time. The Hokage once again broke out in laughter at the young boy's antics. Naruto-kun, there is also the matter of your genin exams. I understand that due to a slightly curved grade you did not graduate with your class. I think that we may be able to make an exception in your case. But do not brag about this to your classmates. I can't make exceptions for everyone now. Naruto's mouth dropped open. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. That finally he, Uzumaki Naruto, would finally be able to graduate. I have a headband for you already, Naruto-kun. Sarutobi fumbled around inside his Hokage robe sleeve until he found what he was looking for. Here you are, Naruto-kun. He handed a slightly worn Konoha hide bound with a blue cloth. It looked like it had seen a good few years in service beforehand. Ji-san, why can't I have a new one? This one looks old. Naruto whined. Because Naruto-kun, this headband is special. It holds the hopes and dreams of another shinobi that too wished to become Hokage. Sarutobi took another long puff from his pipe, looking up to the ceiling, as if remembering the days long past. Naruto looked at the headband, understanding a bit more the meaning of this headband. But Ji-san, what happened to that shinobi? Did he become Hokage? He died, Naruto-kun, he died. Sarutobi responded sadly. Oh, I see. Naruto's attitude grew more sober. He clenched the headband in his hands. Ji-san, I'm going to take this height, and I'm going to fulfill both our dreams. I'm going to become Hokage and bring peace to the land of fire for good. Naruto tied the headband to his forehead. Sarutobi smiled. I'm glad to hear it, Naruto-kun. Now go run along. The academy teams are being assigned today, and I'd hate for you to miss meeting your sensei. The old man waved the young genin away with one hand. Naruto got up from his chair and walked slowly to the door. But you know, Ji-san, I would have liked to meet the owner, you know? He sounds like a great guy, Naruto said, his hand on the doorknob, not looking back. You know, Naruto-kun, I'm sure he would have liked to meet you too. You topped the Hokage monument. Sarutobi's head. Once outside of the Hokage tower, Naruto could no longer keep his melancholic demeanor. Yash! I'm going to be a ninja. Woohoo! Everyone that said that I couldn't do it, piss off, because I'm going to be the greatest Hokage ever. Naruto screamed at the top of his lungs for over half an hour to the village below, while dancing like a crazed monkey. In the hospital, Tenten put down her favorite book, Throwing Kunai for Dummies, which she just finished reading for the 1000th time. She picked up Naruto's lovely bouquet, and inhaled its sweet fragrance. She felt every single flower with her coarse bandaged hands, careful to avoid her splinted finger. In her preoccupance, a couple of daffodils managed to break free and fell out of bunch. Picking them up, Tenten hastily rearranged the flowers to what she thought was the proper position. A flash of color, other than yellow, caught her eye. In the middle of the bouquet, hidden by all of the other longer flowers, was a budding red rose. Tenten blushed. A red rose was supposed to symbolize deep love. For a minute she wondered if the knucklehead blonde was aware of that fact. Hearing, from across the village, Naruto shouting about his newfound ninja rank and declarations to become Hokage, Tenten decided, definitely not. Back to the Hokage tower. Long after Naruto had left for this year's team assignment, Sarutobi had finished all the paperwork for that day. Naruto-kun, hurry and take my job. I'm not sure how much more paperwork I can take deciding to get some fresh air. You top the Hokage's tower. Sarutobi opened the door leading to the hallway and the stairs up to the top of the tower, and was astounded at the pure carnage which he beheld. The floor, ceiling, and walls of the hallway were stained by what looked like gallons of blood, and there were 2 holes in the wall shaped like the bodies of 2 umbu. Who should be guarding the Hokage? Looking through the 2 holes, Sarutobi found the 2 umbu knocked out, their masks askew, revealing their identities to the public, with blood trickling out their noses. Naruto. Summary: in the last chapter, Naruto visited Tenten in the hospital and then met the Hokage. The Hokage gave Naruto his official Konoha headband and sent him off to be assigned to a genin team. And Team 7 is going to be composed of Harino Sakura, Uchiha Sasuke, and Uzumaki Naruto. Their sensei will be Hatake Kakashi, a substitute teacher. Iruka was still in the hospital, announced. Naruto burst through the academy door at full speed. I'm here. The blonde Jinchuruki was too late to skid to a stop and instead toppled over the rows of the academy desks, tumbling through row after row until he landed in a twitching smoking heap at the bottom. A vein in the teacher's forehead bulged. You all are dismissed, please. Locate the members of your squad and proceed together to your assigned rooms to wait for your teachers to pick you up. One by one the fledgling ninjas of the Hidden Leaf rose from their chairs for the last time and headed out the classroom for lunch and to await their jonin instructors. Sakura, noticing Naruto's current unconscious state, dragged the slightly charred-looking pile of orange ninja by the foot to where their new sensei was supposed to meet them. Hours passed and soon all the graduates had left with their teachers. To pass the time, Sakura tried to wake up the unconscious Naruto by repeatedly slapping him. The unconscious Naruto, being unconscious, did not respond, and Sasuke, being the broody dark avenger bastard that he was, folded his hands together, like Mr. Burns, put on a deep frown, squinted slightly, like he was looking at something not quite there, and struck a broody pose, thinking bloodthirsty and slightly gay thoughts about a certain relative of his. When finally Sakura was about to give up hope and go home, the door slid back to reveal a gray-haired jonin, whose hair seemed to defy gravity. He had a mask covering most of his face, and his Konoha headband over one of his eyes. I'm sorry I'm a little late. I was on a mission rescuing a princess in the land of snow, and bringing and relocating her in Konoha, and got sidetracked on the road of life. The Cyclopean jonin smiled with his eye and rubbed the back of his head a little. So let's meet up on the roof and we can get to know each other. The jonin vanished in a puff of smoke and a rustle of leaves. Sakura, in her haste to comply with her sensei's wishes, accidentally brushed the shoulder of Sasuke on her way out the door. The emo bastard at first appeared indifferent to his teammate's touch. Then he started to slant to his left, still motionless. Then, the raven-haired Uchiha bastard took over, unable to move. Worried, Sakura asked Sasuke-kun, "Are you okay?" When he did not answer, Sakura covered her face with both hands, horrified that she had accidentally hurt her crush. Posing in one spot for hours had, apparently, caused most of Sasuke's body muscles to seize up, and his jaw and face muscles to contract what seemed to be akin to rigor mortis. I guess what my mom said was true. If you make a face like that, your face might stay that way. Oh, poor Sasuke-kun, Sakura thought. Hell yeah! This is our chance. Inner Sakura thought, both Sasuke-kun and Bakunaruto are unable to move. We can totally take advantage of Sasuke and kiss him. Shinaro, Inner Sakura screamed. Giving in to her inner self, Sakura crept closer to Sasuke, then hesitated. She could see two beady black eyes follow her movements. Sasuke-kun is still conscious. No, Sakura cried, weeping anime-style tears. Naruto, this is all his fault, she thought, taking a black felt marker from who knows where. She began to draw all over Naruto's face. She etched glasses, devil horns, skiggly lines, and stars all over Naruto's face. Ha, take that, Shinaro, too, Sakura and Inner Sakura thought. By the time Sakura was done with her masterpiece of art, Sasuke had overcome his muscle failure. The blue-clothed stuck-up bastard dusted himself off and, not making any acknowledgement of either Sakura or his recent inability to move, headed up to the roof of the academy building. Sakura, eager to apologize to Sasuke, ran up the stairs to catch up to her teammate. Opening the shabby-looking wooden door, which led to the rooftop, Sakura was about to apologize for being late when she saw the mysterious gray-haired jonin, sitting comfortably on a metal rail, reading a small orange book with some words on the cover that Sakura didn't catch, blushing and giggling occasionally. The words already in her throat died at the strange sight. Without looking up from his reading material, Kakashi asked, "Where's the third member of the team?" Suddenly it struck Sakura, she had left an unconscious Naruto down in the room they had been waiting in, not too long ago. The hopeless Kunoichi ran full speed down the stairs to find Naruto. Back with Naruto. Huh? What's happening? Naruto mumbled as he awoke. Already most of the motley assortment of bruises he had taken from the fall were completely faded away, a testament to the fox's power. The young blonde slowly sat up and wiped the sleep from his eyes. "Naruto!" a voice yelled, apparently very much pissed off. "Huh, what's that?" Naruto had no time to react as a certain pink-haired Kunoichi burst into the room. Ripping the Japanese-style door off its hinges, Sakura, without checking as to the state of Naruto, proceeded to take said blonde-haired ninja by the leg and once again drag him, but at full force, up the 6 flights of stairs to the rooftop. Naruto's head bounced against each stair, and a small part of him counted each bump. Ichi, and I, San, Yan, Go, Roku. Naruto struggled, flailed, and screamed, up the 6 long staircases, all to no avail, as Sakura wasn't paying attention in the slightest. She had lost face in front of her new sensei and her crush, all because of one stupid baka. Once she reached the top, Sakura kicked down the flimsy door that separated her from the rooftop, and still fuming through Naruto, face first out onto the rooftop. The blonde Jinchuruki's head swelled to several times its normal size, and it appeared he had suffered a concussion on the way up the stairs. Kakashi's sweat dropped at seeing the seemingly dead orange ninja in front of him. He rubbed the back of his head. "So, let's each introduce ourselves. I'm Hatake Kakashi, and I have hobbies. As for my like and dislikes, I'd rather not share." I never really thought about a dream. You next, Pinky. "Hello, I'm Sakura Haruno. I like," stares at Sasuke. "I dislike Naruto and Inopig. My dream is," stares at Sasuke and giggles. "I am Inave, I am Uchiha Sasuke." I have no likes and I dislike many things. My dream, no ambition, is to kill a certain man. Grade A fangirl, and an Avenger. Kakashi thought so. What about this guy? He pointed to the lump of bruises, formerly known as Naruto. The three ninjas stared at Naruto. The three ninja chorused for about 30 seconds. 3. When it became apparent that he would not wake up anytime soon, Kakashi rubbed the back of his head again. So what about this guy? Kakashi asked again. When Noon responded, Sakura said, Sensei, I'm not sure. I know his name is Uzumaki Naruto, but besides that I do not know very much about him. Sasuke grunted likewise. Well, that is a problem. Kakashi thought for a minute, then shrugged. Well, when this brat recovers, tell him that survival exercises are tomorrow. Don't eat breakfast cause you just might lose it. The odd, perverted Jonin vanished in a puff of smoke and a rustle of leaves, leaving 2 very confused genin and 1 unconscious one behind. The day after Team 7 was formed for the first time, Kakashi held the bell test, and by some small stroke of luck, the ragtag team passed through the power of teamwork. Ichiraku's ramen stand. So you're stuck with an emo bastard, a weak fangirl, and a cyclopean Jonin, Tenten said, picking at her pork ramen. That sucks. Kakashi-sensei's bell test sucked even worse. The whole point of the exercise was teamwork, so how does sharing food count as working as a team? It's not like we came up with a plan and then beat him. You guys were lucky it was only taking bells away from Kakashi. Our assignment was to land a hit on Gai-sensei. He made us chase him for 3 days straight over cliffs and rivers, all over the place, at full speed before Niji finally caught him. How does that qualify you to be genin? Tenten paused before saying, I think he was trying to test our persistence to succeed. Yeah, I wish I was on your team, Tenten-chan, Naruto said. Tenten laughed like she thought Naruto was crazy. No way, I have to deal with 2 spandex-clad, bowl-cut-wearing crazies, who yell about the flames of youth all day and train like crazy, and the only sane person on my team is an annoying Hyuga, whose every remark has to do with his destiny. Naruto stared deep into his ramen bowl, as if the answers to all of life's questions could be solved by ramen. Yeah, I wish I was on your team, Tenten-chan. I agree. Databeo. Tenten said. Hey, you can't say Databeo, Tenten-chan. That's my endearing character trait. Naruto whined. A month or so had passed for the hidden village in the leaves. During that month, Naruto began to be able to telepathically hear and speak to Kyuubi. Despite the fact that the Kyuubi was often drunk or said perverted things, Naruto soon grew to like being able to speak to the kitsune. They had developed as mentor and student, but also as friends. Emo Man, Sakuzilla, this is Go Dame, in position over. Next time, I'm picking the code names Naruto. Fine. We'll talk about that later. Naruto said, back to one of Konoha's many trees. On 3 we'll converge on the target. Alright, Sakura asked. Roger. 3, 2, Naruto, wait, I'm not done counting. Ikkuz. Come here, you said, Naruto, interrupting Sakura. The blonde-haired ninja charged straight for the target, not using 1 iota of the ninja stealth or skill he possessed. However, the little cat scampered away with blinding speed, evading the blonde ninja's clutches. You think you're smart, cat? Well, you just met your equal. Naruto dived for the cat and missed, skidding to a halt in the dirt. Then suddenly a puff of smoke enveloped Naruto, and another 3 Narutos jumped out of the trees and grabbed the frightened cat. Got you. Ah, stop scratching me. What the hell? Get off of me, you stupid cat. Ah, Naruto screamed as their whiskered friend attempted to gouge out Naruto's eyes using its claws. That's what you get, dope, for going ahead of plan. Sasuke smirked. Back at the mission distribution center. Another mission completed. Good job as always, the third said, taking a deep draft from his pipe. I have another mission for you 3. It's a D rank. Apparently, an elderly lady needs her garden weeded. Irika smiled. No, forget it, I won't. These missions all suck. We've done like 20 missions already. I'm so bored. Give us a good mission already. I want to see some action. Databeo. Naruto practically yelled at the top of his lungs and sat down, cross-legged. Kakashi sighed. Naruto, stop being stubborn. Irika folded his arms and closed his eyes. Naruto, genin like you are only allowed to take D-class missions, and if the Hokage thinks you've gained enough experience, maybe a C-class. But seriously, it's only been a few weeks, you can't expect to really get an exciting miss. I'll give you 3 AC rank mission. The Hokage said, his face making it more than apparent he wasn't joking. Alright. Naruto jumped at least a foot into the air. On one condition, the third said. Naruto face vaulted from a foot in the air. Sasuke rolled his eyes. Baka. Naruto instantly stood up, uninjured, and began arguing with the number 1 rookie. Hokage-sama. What conditions? Sakura asked. You will take an additional teammate for this mission. Sarutobi expelled a puff of smoke from his pipe. Aimed Tenten with you. It seems her sensei Mado Guy and his pupil Rock Lee are going on, and how did they put it? Here it is, the super extreme youthful mission of burning youthfulness to find their inner youthfulness as great youthful beasts of Konoha, in which they train very hard, a lot. Training mission. Normally I wouldn't want a Jonin sensei singling out one pupil, however, seeing as how it is a sacred tradition of the Leaf Village dating back to the second Hokage, I didn't refuse. Her other teammate Niji has some clan duties and will otherwise be occupied. So she will be accompanying you 4 on your mission to the Land of Waves. Hokage-sama, you can't be serious, they don't have the Irika spluttered. The fire shadow of the Leaf Village silenced him with a wave of his grizzled hand. I believe in them, Irika. And besides, I think that a trip outside the village would do Naruto-kun here some good, he said with a hint of mirth in his voice. Hi Hokage-sama. Team 7, you will be assigned to escort a famous bridge builder, Tazuna, to his home country in the land of waves. Irika read off of the small mission scroll, marked with a big red C on it. Cool, a real famous person from the land of waves, huh? Alright, this is awesome. Databeo, Naruto yelled. Who is it? Who is it? A feudal lord, a beautiful princess? Calm down, I'm about to introduce him. Please come in. Tazuna-san. The Hokage motioned with his arm for the client outside the room to come in. A rather shabby-looking old man in his 50s walked into the room, clutching a half-empty bottle of booze. I don't like any of them. They all look like brats to me, especially the short one with the big mouth. Who's the short one with the big mouth? Haha, what a lose. Hey wait, Naruto yelled as the realization that he was the one being made fun of. Come on Naruto, you're going to get left behind. Kakashi, Sakura, Sasuke said together. Are we there yet? Naruto and Sakura whined in unison. Naruto, Sakura, and Tenten walked side by side on the path to the land of wave, trailing after Kakashi and Sasuke. It was 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and the three genin were dead tired. No, Tenten sighed. I wish we were. All this walking is tiring. Tenten whipped some sweat off her brow. This heat is scorching. I wish I had some. Tenten pointed to a puddle of water to the side of the road. Team 7 was walking on to Naruto and Sakura. The orange and pink ninjas nodded silently to show they understood. Now Tenten threw an entire set of kunai at the puddle and surrounding bush. From the puddle emerged two mist ninja wearing cloaks and special aquatic breathing masks for underwater survival. Each brother wore one large claw dripping in poison, and the claws themselves were attached by the way of a steel chain. The demon mist brothers easily blocked the kunai with their claws and launched themselves with blinding speed towards Kakashi. The jonin was torn like a paper tissue into 100 paces by the brothers' chain attack. At the sight of his sensei being killed, Naruto froze. He couldn't move or even breathe. All he could think about was the blood and carnage he had just witnessed. Naruto, snap out of it. Tenten yelled as she threw 3 kunai to pin the brothers' chain to a nearby tree, while Sasuke jumped on the two brothers' claws and kicked them square in the face, breaking their chain but earning a scratch on the leg from a claw. Roused by Tenten's words, Naruto snapped out of it and delivered a punch into the gut of one of the ninja brothers, sending him towards another tree. The ninja impacted the tree with a crunch and Tenten threw saw-edged kunai at the unfortunate brother, the serrated edges literally nailing him to the tree. Now for the other one, Naruto and Tenten chorused. Eek! Sakura screamed at the top of her lungs. The two lovebirds to be turned to the direction of the sound. The remaining demon brother slashed Sasuke across the collarbone and ran towards a terrified Sakura, who was guarding old man Tazuna, his claw held menacingly at neck level. Just as he was about to skewer Sakura, an orange blur intercepted the mist chunin, sending him flying off into the forest. Sasuke, who was still injured from the slash earlier, struggled to get to his feet, still fighting the effects of the poison from the claws. As he saw Naruto and Tenten head into the forest, Sasuke thought, I can't let him get away. If I can't defeat that ninja, I'll never be able to kill my brother. Just as Sasuke was about to rise to his feet, a hand settled on his head, forcing him back to the ground, a hand wearing black fingerless gloves. Flexing his claw as if in impatience, the slightly insane mist ninja called out, Here little piggies. Come out so I can rip you to shreds. Suddenly, on the opposite side of the clearing, Tenten and Naruto appeared, side by side posing. Naruto with his right arm held out in a fist and Tenten crossing her arms with 3 kunai in one and shuriken in another. Do you think we're getting better at this posing thing? Naruto-kun, Tenten asked, her eyes not moving from the other ninja. Nope. Naruto answered, his voice cheerful. Ano, Tenten-chan, is this the right time to be talking about this? You're right. So I will just have to finish him off then, Tenten said, flicking her weapons at the chunin. Finish who off? I'm just getting warmed up, the mist ninja exclaimed as the weapons hit his body, which slowly dissolved into a puddle of water behind a puddle in his place. Mizu Bunshin, water clone? Tenten gasped as blood trickled out her mouth, a hole in her stomach. Tenten, no! Naruto screamed before he met the same fate as the bun-haired kunoichi. Stupid brats. A little trick like that killed them so easily, the mist ninja sneered, laughing maliciously. Whoa, this guy's getting scary, Tenten-chan. A decidedly orange voice rang from somewhere in the forest. Startled, the ninja turned around, looking for the direction of the voice. What, but I killed you? How? Finally the stupefied chunin turned to the decapitated bodies of the genin, only to find them vanish in a puff of smoke. Where are you? I hate little brats, who think they're ninja. I'll tear you to pieces. Garg. I agree, another voice answered, this one female. We shouldn't play around anymore or we might be in trouble. From behind another tree left of the chunin, Tenten and Naruto emerged unscathed. Right. No more fooling around. Taiju Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, mass shadow clone technique. Naruto's hands formed the familiar cross shape and 99 Narutos surrounded the clearing, grinning. Henge, transform. Every Naruto vanished, leaving Tenten standing in the clearing, kunai littered all around her. Gathering chakra in her hands, Tenten created chakra wires and attached them to every kunai. Tenten spun gracefully in a circle, the kunai following obediently until she had whipped them into a whirlwind 20 feet in diameter. Now she cried, her brow furrowed in concentration as she whipped the strings in a complicated motion, each kunai flying high into the air and then stopping suddenly. The mist ninja watched silently, his claw fidgeting nervously. Suddenly all the kunai shot downward towards the demon brother. Kai, release! Each of the 100 Narutos transformed back into their original shapes, hurtling like missiles towards the mist ninja, tackling the mist ninja shoulder first. Then, the clones each kicked the mist ninja up into the air. Tenten jumped off of one of the Naruto clones into the air, and summoned a giant spiked mace. With a vicious scream, the bun-haired kunoichi swung the mace, sending him flying into the ground. They each reached into their pouches and threw a handful of shuriken at the mist ninja. Immediately, Tenten's hands went through a short flurry of hand seals, Kage Shuriken Jutsu, Shadow Shuriken technique. The weapons multiplied from 1,000 shuriken into 1,000,000, raining down on the defenseless mist ninja, effectively killing him 8 times over. Koku Rindan Black Rain Combo. Tenten sighed as her wobbly knees collapsed underneath her, immensely tired from the immense shadow replication. The Narutos vanished out of existence, leaving only the real one left. The remaining orange ninja jumped from branch to branch, landing beside an exhausted Tenten-chan. Are you okay? I'm okay, it's just that was the first person I've ever seriously aimed to kill and we ended up doing it, Tenten said as she whipped a tear from her eye. Don't cry, Tenten-chan. We had to protect old man Tazuna, there was no other way. Naruto said, tears welling in his eyes too as he tried to look away from the skewered ninja. I know I'm being silly. It's just I can't help crying, Tenten said softly, tears now pouring from her eyes. Look who's talking, you're crying too. I am not, Naruto said, but Iruka-sensei says that crying occasionally is a good thing. He says it means we still have our humanity. I know, Tenten agreed, whipping the tears from her eyes. I'm here for you, Tenten-chan. Naruto hugged the emotionally and physically exhausted girl as they both wept for the unlucky foreign ninja they never knew. Well, how touching, crying over little old me? Naruto and Tenten gasped as the now familiar voice laughed again. I'm flattered. Tenten's red eyes widened as she saw a familiar black claw appear behind Naruto's head. And you're dead. Chapter 4, Lies, Deception, and Truth. Tenten, how has your search for a catchphrase going? Naruto asked Tenten as they ate ramen at Ichiraku's. Tenten shook her head in frustration and hopelessness. Maybe I should just give up. Dynamic entry. 2 green blurs exploded into the clearing, kicking Naruto high into the sky, who flew into the distance with a ping of light. My youthful student Tenten. Guy screamed at the top of his lungs, his head filling a quarter of the screen. I have the perfect catchphrase for you and Naruto can join in it too. Bwahaha. We will be the first ones to enter your contest of youth. Youth, can you guys stop yelling? I'm losing my hearing. Tenten yelled back while covering her ears. I am sorry, Tenten, but due to the youthful training Guy-sensei and I have undertaken, we cannot stop yelling because of our overflowing yahat. Lee screamed, back even louder than Guy, fire in his eyes, deafening Tenten. Yash Lee. You have surpassed me with your youthful shouting. It must be the springtime of youth. I'm so proud, Guy said, tears rolling down his face. Lee. Guy said. Guy-sensei. Lee said. Lee. Guy said. Guy-sensei. Lee said. Guy, stop it, Tenten said. Where was I? Right, Lee. Lee said. Guy-sensei? Guy said. Lee. Lee said. Guy-sensei. Guy said. Lee. Lee said. Guy-sensei. Guy said. Fire. Tenten threw a spiked bombs at the 2 crying taijutsu bomb blew up with tremendous force. When it subsided, their precious shiny black bowl cuts were frazzled and standing straight up, as if they had been electrocuted. Lee stood there, his hair standing straight up, babbling from the sheer concussive force released by Tenten. Yash! I see you two have been training while we were away, Tenten. Good. Your youth far surpasses ours right now, but rest assured we'll be back before you know it. Gahahaha. Uawith. And Guy picked up Lee, like a surfboard, and comically ran towards the nearest training ground laughing madly and yelling about the springtime of youth. Tenten could only stare as she watched Guy and Lee retreat. From the same direction a slightly frayed-looking Naruto walked back to Ichiraku's. The orange ninja stopped and watched as Guy and Lee rushed past him. So what I miss? I do not own Naruto or the franchise. Author's note, thanks to all who reviewed again. I know I might sound like a broken record, but I do enjoy reading the reviews you guys give me and I always try to thank you, guys, appropriately. Thanks to Eroero Kitsune for his review especially. He corrected me on my spelling of Zabuza. I had been spelling it Zabunza. It was so much fun correcting that one letter, especially since it came up every other line or so. I think I fixed all of the misspellings but don't count on it. Oh, by the way, I think I'm going to change Naruto and Tenten's age to 14 and 15 respectfully for no other reason than I think it would be weird for 12-year-olds to think about perverted things like some of the stuff later on, and that I find it hard that they subject kids to so much death at such a young age. It will have no direct impact on this story, but think what you guys want. I usually just take it for granted, but I wanted to let you guys know. Summary: Naruto and company started their mission to the land of the waves. On the way there, the demon brothers from the land of the mist attacked the group in an attempt to kill Tazuna, the famous bridge worker, However, Naruto, Tenten, and Sasuke manage to fight off the brothers. When one escapes, the blonde and brown-haired ninjas chase after him and defeat him with their Black Rain combo. Or did they? Naruto and Tenten sat in the middle of the forest, Tenten's face buried in Naruto's shoulder, both of them weeping tears of regret. Well, how touching, crying over little old me? Naruto and Tenten gasped as the now familiar voice laughed again. I'm flattered. Tenten's red eyes widened as she saw a familiar black claw appear behind Naruto's head. And you're dead. Tenten could feel Naruto's arms tense around her as the jagged claw hovered inches from the back of his head. The weapon Kunoichi closed her eyes, waiting for the fatal blow to come, too scared to think about moving. When death did not come, Tenten opened her eyes slowly. Kakashi-sensei. She gasped. The Jonin had pinned the unlucky Chunin by the neck against a tree with one hand and holding a kunai to his neck with the other. You two did a good job. Using chakra wires to direct the kunai thrown by the clones and performing a Kage shuriken while not being in contact with an object is a high caliber of ninjutsu, something I'd have trouble with. But you made a careless error. When this guy first attacked, you thought he was a water clone and that the real one was behind you, waiting to attack. However, in reality he had hinged himself into a puddle of water and waited while you finished off his water clone. Once you two had exhausted yourselves, he dispelled the henge and attacked. If not for me you'd both be dead, Kakashi explained. Are you alright? Kakashi asked, serious for once. We're fine, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said. I wasn't talking to you, Kakashi said coldly. Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said, not understanding why Kakashi was acting strangely to him. We're both fine, really, Tenten said. Good. Let's head back then. Back with Tazuna. Sasuke, take this medicine. It'll alleviate the poison's affects. Kakashi handed the younger ninja a small green pill. Aren't you going to give Naruto some too? He was scratched in the fighting also, Sakura asked. No. His ability gives him immunity to poisons, the silver-haired Jonin said. Though if it didn't, he'd be long dead by now, Kakashi added silently. Sakura asked Kakashi-sensei, I saw you ripped into pieces by that chain. How did you manage to survive? It was a simple Kawarimi Jutsu, replacement technique. Sasuke explained. Right, Sasuke. Good job figuring that out. A true ninja must always look underneath the underneath. Tenten glared at Kakashi behind his back, her eyes narrowing with dislike from the minute she saw him. She knew from her instincts that this man was biased against Naruto. But then why did the third put him on this man's team? It didn't make any sense. Tenten-chan. A voice snapped Tenten out of her musing. What is it, Naruto-kun? Kakashi-sensei talked with old man Tazuna and we're going to continue with the mission. Okay, alright, Naruto-kun. Let's go then. The others are getting away from us, Tenten said, dragging Naruto by the arm to their companions already well down the road to the land of waves. At Gata's hideout. Zabuza, what's the meaning of this? The demon brothers were taken out by those Konoha ninja. You're supposed to take care of this. The short corrupt businessman screamed, yelling at the other man. The other man did not respond at first, as if waiting for Gata to get more irritated. Finally, he drew his huge cleaver sword from his back and stood. He was a menacing figure dwarfing than Kakashi with a cloth wrapped over the lower half of his face. His scratched headband led him as a missing ninja from the land of the mist. Zabuza! Answer me! The little man screamed. Zabuza stretched to his full height, and hefted his Zanbato on his shoulder with ease. Don't worry, Gatu. This time I'll go. And by this time tomorrow, they'll all be dead. Just remember to have our money ready when we're done. Let's go, Haku. From within the shadows in the corner of the room materialized out a third person, this one a feminine young hunter ninja, wearing a white mask with wave design on it. Gatu and his samurai henchmen stepped back in fright. Hi, Zabuza-sama. Aha, over there. Naruto threw a kunai into a rustling bush. A small white rabbit with an odd red mark on the lower half of its face hopped out, narrowly missing the blade. It's just a rabbit, Naruto no baka. Sakura said. No way, I swear I could have heard something. You heard it, nay Kakashi-sensei? Kakashi walked on, ignoring Naruto's comments, thinking to himself that rabbit back there was unusually white for this time of year. It's summer, so the rabbit's coat should still be brown-colored. Almost as if, everyone duck, as if on cue. A giant sword came rushing by, straight over their heads, until it embedded itself deep within a tree. Zabuza appeared, standing atop his sword. Watch out, Kit. I sense something special about this guy's sword. He's stronger than anyone we've faced yet. Copy Ninja Hatake Kakashi, of the Sharingan Eye. How nice to finally meet you. Momoichi Zabuza, ex-jonin of the village hidden in mist. What are you doing here? Kakashi asked, lifting his headband to activate his Sharingan. The Sharingan already? I'm flattered. Zabuza leaped from the tree, pulling his sword from the bark as he fell. Shall we start then? Zabuza rushed in, aiming to chop Zabuza's head straight off. Kakashi at the last second blocks with his kunai and slashes Zabuza, who becomes a water clone. The real Zabuza then proceeds to slash Kakashi, who in turn becomes a water clone. The two switch off, appearing behind each other and dissolving into water clones. That's it. I'm tired of all this waiting around. They're doing the same trick over and over. I'm gonna knock his head off, Naruto said, and leaped into the Frei Taiju Kage Bun Shinjutsu, multi-shadow clone technique. 100 other Narutos appeared in midair along with him. Attack! Zabuza and Kakashi looked up from their little death match to see the rain of orange ninja come down on them. Kakashi's one eye widened. The clones came down with surprising force, punching and kicking whatever they could get their hands on until a big ball of dust concealed all the fighting, think Pokemon, revealing only a face or arm occasionally. I got one and Naruto punched as hard as he could, landing a solid hit on a jaw that didn't puff into smoke, knocking a body outside the fray and onto the surface of the water. Naruto Yubaka, that was Kakashi-sensei, Sakura shouted. Whoops, I guess I got carried away. Naruto scratched the back of his head, embarrassed. Where is that eyebrowless freak? Kai dispel. The clones dispelled to reveal nothing, except a lot of water. Man, they got me again. Naruto sighed, depressed at being tricked. Out on the lake, Kakashi stood up, shrugging off the genin's punch. Sensing danger, Kakashi looked around only to find himself trapped in a sphere of water. Suiro no Jutsu, water prison, Zabuza smirked. Kakashi was trapped within a sphere of water, unable to escape. Now to take care of the brats, Mizu Bunshin, water clone, a mirror image of Zabuza appeared out of the water, and walked towards the ninja quartet. Everyone run, he can't move with the water prison intact and his water clones can't stay far from the original, Kakashi said, somehow through the water. Kid, do you need my help? The Kyuubi asked, ready to send his chakra through the seal. Nah, I've got this one, Kyuubi. It'll be a piece of cake cause I got a plan. That would be a first. The Kyuubi snickered. Shut up, Kyuubi Tien. Naruto snapped mentally at the Kyuubi. Sakura, stay back and protect the old man and Sasuke. One feeble and old, and the other one's Tazuna. We'll handle this. Naruto stepped forward, clenched his fists, shrugging off his orange jacket, leaving only the black shirt underneath on. Let's go, Tenten. When did Naruto get so cool? He used to be such an idiot. Sakura thought from beside Tazuna, even Tenten-san and him are stronger than me. I'm useless. Wow, maybe this kid really could become Hokage, Tazuna said, then as an afterthought, hey, I wonder where I could get more sake. One more time. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Technique. 4 Narutos appeared beside the original in a cross formation. Here we go! 2 Narutos rushed Zabuza, attacking from the sides and were easily destroyed by one slash from Zabuza's head cleaver, leaving behind only smoke. A third Naruto rushed forward, aiming a punch at the water clone's midsection. Before he was slashed to pieces, another Naruto jumped off his back into the air into a spinning motion. Child's Play, the clone of Zabuza, took out 3 kunai and threw them towards Naruto. What? Naruto stuck his tongue out of his mouth and pulled his right eyelid down. The last clone jumped up, grabbed the orange ninja by the midsection, and hurled him down at the water clone. Bunshin Tayatari, clone body slamming. He changed his trajectory in the air using that shadow clone and gained velocity. Doing it, the clone muttered, stunned, before Naruto tackled the clone with humongous force. Taking the opening, Tenten drew from her summoning scrolls her father's prized katana. The weapon's mistress unsheathed the sword, slashed, and then sheathed her sword in one swift move, easily dispatching the mist ninja. Now for the real one. Naruto tossed Tenten a Fuma Shuriken. Tenten nodded and pulled out another Fuma Shuriken from her ninja supply pouch. Stacking it on top of the one she already had, Tenten threw the blade with deadly accuracy. Sure enough, Zabuza dodged both the shuriken, but Naruto, who had turned into the shuriken, managed to catch Zabuza off guard, enabling Kakashi to escape. Zabuza, seeing he was outmatched, turned to flee. Just as the masked Jonin was about to escape, 2 Senban appeared, almost seeming to sprout out of the Nukanin's neck, killing him instantly. From atop a tree, a white masked hunter Nin appeared. I'm truly sorry for stealing your kill. However, I wanted to have the pleasure with dealing away with Zabuza myself. Kakashi approached the motionless body, checking for a pulse. There was none. Zabuza was dead. The copy ninja pulled his forehead protector down, once again concealing his Sharingan. Well then, I'll be off to dispose of the remains. Thank you for cooperating, the hunter Nin said, picking up the dead body and teleporting away with a rustle of leaves. What was with that guy? We work our asses off to beat the shit out of Zabuza, and he takes the guy out in what? 2 moves. Do we just suck or something? Naruto asked. Calm down, Naruto. This probably isn't the last time you'll meet someone as young as you and stronger than me, Kakashi said, smiling with one eye. Now let's get going. Kakashi took out his orange book and began walking forward, only to fall face first onto the ground, unable to move. What are you falling down for? You didn't even really do anything, Tenten asked, obviously still annoyed. After Zabuza was successfully defeated, the tired, battle-scared Team 17, 710, crashed at Old Man Tazuna's house, while he works on the bridge. During that time, Kakashi recovers from his use of the Sharingan, and the rest of Team 17, minus Sasuke, uncussily tried to unmask the sleeping Jonin several times, each ending in failure. Are you alright, teacher? Tsunami, Tazuna's attractive 28-year-old daughter, asked the Cyclopean Jonin. No, but I will be in about a week, Kakashi responded. Kakashi-sensei, I can't get my mind off that masked kid. What's with him? Sakura asked. That particular mask is worn by the Hunter Nin squad of the village hidden in mist. Their job is to dispose of the remains of any missing ninja from their village. A shinobi's corpse can be like a book, and from that corpse other villages can learn the hidden village's secrets. In the same way, if I were killed and my body was found, they could learn everything unique about the Sharingan, and maybe even replicate it. So Zabuza's body was dismembered and destroyed. That's so creepy, Sakura shivered. Somewhere in the forest near the land of the wave, the white-masked black-haired ninja pulled a nasty pair of scissors out of a tool pack. Sitting beside Zabuza's corpse, I'll just unwrap the outer bandages so the blood can flow better and… Enough. I can do it myself. The seemingly dead figure's eyes opened, revealing a murderous glare, and sat up. Well, now up already? The smaller ninja teased playfully. Haku, you have all the fineness of a butcher. Zabuza sat up and ripped the needles out of his neck. Be careful, Zabuza-sama. If you pull those out any which way, you really will kill yourself, Haku warned. Shut up and take that stupid mask off, Zabuza commanded. Gomen Nasai. Old habits die hard, and this mask was so useful for my monkey pantomime routine. The young hunter Nin pulled off the mask, revealing a pretty face with alabaster skin and black eyes that seemed to embody winter nights. Haku, you're so innocent and clueless. I think that's why I keep you around, Zabuza said. Without us even knowing, the mist has lifted, Haku said, gazing out onto the ocean below. Zabuza raised his would-be eyebrows. Since when did you become a poet? I thought you were a walking, talking snow cone distributor with a mask. Haku smiled. I'll always be a weapon, Zabuza-sama. Good, Haku, let's get out of here. All this witty banter is making me sick, Zabuza commanded and disappeared with a small burst of water. Haku smiled once again, glad to have a reason for living high. Zabuza-sama. Back at Tazuna's house. At old man Tazuna's house, night had fallen and all was peaceful. The moon was full and the wind blew silently. It was a beautiful night. On this night, a certain bun-haired kunoichi was sleeping soundly, dreaming of nothing at all. But it is often at these times divine inspiration bestows itself upon the unprepared. Oh shit! Tenten sat up, everything clear to her. The weapons mistress bolted out of the covers of her warm futon and ran as fast as she could to the room Naruto was sleeping in, her hair down and only an oversized big pale pink shirt and panties, of course. Naruto, wake up. I have something to tell you. Tenten shouted at the blonde-haired dead last, shaking him by the shoulders. Wah, no Tenten-chan, I couldn't possibly eat any more ramen. Oh, you don't have to feed me just because I'm Hokage. I can eat from my Naruto half muttered, still asleep. Realization finally struck upon Tenten. He was dreaming about her, or ramen. She couldn't tell which. Either way, Tenten's eyes got wide and her cheeks turned red. Naruto, she said under her breath. Hastily she cleared her throat, and said in a high-pitched girly voice, Hokage-sama, I've got all-you-can-eat ramen for you. Come here so I can feed it to you, Tenten called, in a sing-song voice. The orange ninja leaped to his feet instantly. Where? All-you-can-eat ramen, where is it? Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it. Naruto jumped to his feet, still tangled in his blanket, and tripped, bringing Tenten down underneath him. The stunned kunoichi lay there, breathing. Everything had happened so fast. Naruto had been sleeping, then jumping, and then everything went white. When Tenten's head cleared, she noticed an unfamiliar weight on her body and something pressing against her chest. Looking down, a heavy blush appeared on face as she realized what had happened. Naruto, also stunned from the impact, moaned in pain into Tenten's chest. The clumsy bumpkin propped his body up using his arms and opened his eyes. Underneath him was a blushing Tenten, covering her chest with her arms, looking away. Entranced, he could only stare at his teammate. Well, are you going to get up already? Tenten said, avoiding Naruto's gaze. Naruto scrambled off her as fast as she could, embarrassed as well. When the silence finally got too much, Naruto asked, what did you need, Tenten-chan? Huh? Was his only reply. Well, you must have came in here for something, right? Naruto asked. Oh right. I figured something out. Zabuza probably isn't dead. Tenten practically shouted. What? How can he be still alive? You're rushing too fast. It was on that day I was in the hospital, right? I was reading my favorite book on how to throw a kunai for dummies, and it listed other projectiles and the advantages, disadvantages. One of the things listed about Senbon needles was the mortality rates. If a Senbon hits the right place it can be deadly, but if not then the rates can be really low. In some cases, it can even induce a death-like trance. I knew that Hunter Nin was suspicious the moment I saw that crappy white and red mask. Tenten whispered, making sweeping hand gestures, that made it clear she didn't like the Hunter Nin. Really? I thought it was kinda cool. That girl looked kinda mysterious in the mask. Naruto said, his eyes turning into miniature stars in admiration. Tenten shook her head. Honestly, Naruto, you've got no ninja intuition at all. That ninja was obviously a boy, and I'm positive that he was rescuing Zabuza. Really? Are you sure it's not about that ninja messing with your perfect bullseye record? Naruto asked, stifling a yawn. Tenten nearly pulled out her hair in frustration. That's not it, Naruto. I swear you're an idiot sometimes. I know he's still alive. Somewhere out there Zabuza is getting ready to attack again. Naruto smiled that clueless smile. Hey, you know, Tenten-chan, this is the first time I've seen you without your hair up in buns. You look kinda cute like that. I normally like girls with longer hair. Naruto, you're a dead man. Tenten jumped at Naruto. The two rolled around on the floor until Naruto finally landed on top, using his arms pin Tenten. Naruto gently forced Tenten back down by the shoulders. Okay, Tenten-chan, I believe you. Calm down. But if he really is alive, what are we going to do about it? We're going to get Kakashi-sensei to train us. He's probably wondering about Zabuza too. I know that crappy excuse for a sensei has some tricks up his sleeve, and since we're going to be in the land of the wave for a while, this is the perfect time to get stronger, Tenten said, her eyes burning with passion. Okay then, can I go to sleep yet? Naruto asked, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. Sure, Tenten held up a finger in front of Naruto, but don't tell anyone. I don't want anyone getting worried if it turns out I'm wrong. Let's just wait and see. Make sure you tell me if you notice something odd, K? Just as this all was happening, a certain silver-haired jonin walked in on the two genin, reading his book. As he passed by, his eye slowly gravitated towards the two young ninja. He finally stopped walking and just watched the two, a blush forming under his mask. As the two notice Kakashi, they immediately separate, each embarrassed immensely. K Kakashi-sensei. We were just the two stuttered, trying to explain. The older jonin waved his arm up and down at the two. It's okay, really, continue. This is even better than Ika Ika Paradise. A bigger blush forming underneath his mask. Suddenly, something happened that made the jonin stop dead in his tracks. A very, very sharp kunai was protruding from the wall an inch or two from his manhood. The jonin's sweat dropped. I'll just be going now. Kakashi vanished in a puff of smoke. Hey Tenten, where did you pull that kunai from? You're only wearing a shirt. Naruto asked, cocking his head to one side. At this, Tenten's blush grew even more. And never mind that. Just get out. But Tenten-chan. It's my room. Naruto pleaded. Out, that means you too, Kakashi. Tenten threw another kunai at the space where Kakashi was. The blushing jonin unraveled the genjutsu. I'll really be going now, and walked out into the hallway. After making sure that everyone was out, Tenten collapsed on Naruto's futon, hugging the pillow that smelled faintly of ramen. A blush on her cheeks. I forgot I was only wearing this big shirt. I'm so embarrassed I could almost pound Kakashi to the ground with my bare hands. In the forest. Today I'm going to teach you all about chakra and the proper use of such, Kakashi explained, hands stuffed in his pockets. Naruto and Sakura's mouths stretched wide open in disbelief. You teach us something. Normally, you barely even make it to our training sessions. The older ninja shrugged nonchalantly about that. Liar! Naruto, Tenten, and Sakura yelled. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Well, I wasn't expecting this. Stupid Kakashi-sensei never teaching us anything, Naruto thought. Anyways, today we're going to learn how to climb trees without using your hands, Kakashi said. Now watch. The elder jonin casually walked towards the tree and walked straight up it, parallel to the ground. That is so cool. Teach me how to, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said, full of excitement. Basically you just concentrate your body's mental and physical energies, chakra, into the soles of your feet. The point is to get a greater control over your chakra. If you can master this, then no jutsu should be beyond you, at least in theory, Kakashi explained. Well, good luck. The only real way to learn is by doing the jonin through 4 kunai at the feet of the genin. Mark your progress using these. And with that the jonin poofed away in a cloud of smoke. What a crappy sensei, Naruto thought. This is going to be a long day, Tenten sighed. Elsewhere in the land of the wave. I'm surprised you had the guts to show your sorry face around here after being beaten by a bunch of kids. Gato sneered, his samurai bodyguards fingering their swords. Are they going to attack? Haku thought to herself, getting ready to defend her precious person. Gato moved to grab the helpless Zabuza only to have his arm broken by Haku. The samurai moved to draw their swords and attack only to find Haku holding both swords to their throats. You don't want to do that, Haku whispered calmly. She didn't even seem to move. This kid's some sort of monster. They thought. There better not be any mistakes. If you fail again, don't think you see I can come back here, Gato said, his voice cracking in fear, and left hastily. There was no need for that, Haku, Zabuza said, revealing a hidden kunai he was about to stab Gato with. I know, Zabuza-sama, but if we rush we may not be able to retrieve the money you need, and we may even attract their attention here. Please be patient. Haku said, smiling. I don't give a shit about them. I'll kill anyone who gets in my way, mark my words. In 1 week, Kakashi of the Sharingan, you're next. Zabuza said menacingly. Haku merely smiled. I need to gather more herbs, Zabuza-sama, please rest while I go gather them. Meanwhile at Tazuna's house, Naruto and the others were busy working on their tree climbing skills. Sakura, having almost no reserves whatsoever, had managed to complete the training. She was assigned to protect Zabuza while he worked on the bridge, not that she'd be much help even if there was an attack. Tenten and Naruto were busy, still working as hard as they could running up trees. Sasuke on the other hand was being trained personally by Kakashi. 4 days had passed and Naruto had spent the night outside training until he collapsed. In the forest there was one being wide awake in the morning. It was a girl, around 15 or so, with long black hair, pale skin, a nice figure, and chestnut eyes. She was wearing a pink kimono with a swirled design on it, and a black choker around her neck. She was picking herbs when she saw something among the grass. In the middle of the clearing was a young boy 14 years old with spiky blonde hair. It's him. Haku thought, slowly reaching her hand to Naruto's throat as if to choke him. Then she grabbed his shoulder and gently shook him awake. You'll catch your death of cold sleeping on the ground. Who are you? Naruto asked. My name is Haku. Are you some sort of ninja? The girl asked. I am. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto said, blushing a bit when he saw how the light caught the mysterious girl's hair, illuminating her already beautiful features. Scene break. You're really good at picking the right herbs, Naruto-kun, Haku said. Naruto put the last of the plants Haku had told him to find into the girl's basket. Wiping some sweat of his brow, he replied, thanks, I do some gardening at home. Say, what are you doing out here at the crack of dawn? The girl asked nonchalant. My dream is to be Hokage, the best ninja where I come from, so I'm out here training to get better, Naruto answered. Haku giggled, but why? You look really strong already. Nope, I got to be a lot better than this. I have to get stronger so that all the people who treated me like dirt will have to bow down, and, at the moment I have to prove myself to someone very special to me, Naruto explained. I see. Are you doing this for your satisfaction or for this person? What? Naruto asked, obviously confused. Do you have anyone special in your life? Haku asked, stifling a giggle with her hand. I don't get it. Naruto said, befuddled. Haku thought about Sabunza, who treated her like a daughter, and about her life before he had come. She was always running, always digging through trash cans. She was so happy when Sabunza made her into his weapon. Her smile disappeared. What's wrong? The blonde ninja asked, worried. She raised her head and looked at the boy eye to eye. She reached her hand and gently touched the blonde ninja's cheek, a piercing look in her eyes. When people are protecting someone or something truly precious to them, they can become truly strong. Haku pulled her hand away, embarrassed at touching someone she had just met like that. Naruto thought about the story of Inari's father, about when Iruka protected him, and Tenten protected him both as a child and recently. Yup, I know what you mean. Naruto smiled. But I'm the weakest of my nakama for. I'm always being saved by my friends. Haku stood up abruptly. You will become strong, I'm sure of it. She turned to leave. I know we'll meet again, Naruto-kun. The mysterious girl walked away into the distance. Just as she was leaving, a certain bun-haired kunoichi appeared in the clearing. As they walked by each other they locked eyes. In that moment, they knew that they were eternal rivals, destined to clash over someone close to them, literally and figuratively. Their eyes narrowed, and their bodies tensed. Something akin to killing intent poured from their bodies as lightning crashed ominously in the background. Not really. You. Tenten practically spit. Lightning flashed in the background again. Not really. Haku ignored her, and kept walking coolly, as if nothing had happened. Snow fell around Tenten as Haku vanished from view. So cold. Tenten said, shivering. Hey Tenten-chan, what are you doing here? Naruto asked, walking towards the bun-haired weapons mistress, oblivious to what had just happened. Oh, Naruto-kun, I figured I'd join you out here, since you've been working so hard. Tenten replied, winking. Okay, let's get climbing then. Databeo, Naruto said. No, not that. I meant practicing for our new entrance. Any ninja worth his headband has to have a cool entrance. Tenten said, placing her hands on her hips. I see, Naruto said. I don't get it, Naruto thought. Where is Naruto no Baka and that other girl? Sakura asked. He's out there pushing himself beyond his limits. And Tenten-san is probably doing the same, Kakashi said, his face unreadable. Duh. How? The two gasped. Sitting atop the highest tree was Naruto. He stumbled backward off the tree and at last moment caught himself by sticking to the bottom of the tree branch. Naruto, you baka! Sakura yelled, I'm going to kill you for that. Naruto's face suddenly contorted. His feet unstuck themselves, and he fell plummeting towards the forest floor. If he falls from that height, Kakashi said hopefully. Just as Naruto was about to hit the floor, a flail snaked its way around Naruto's leg, catching him a foot from his imminent demise. On top of the tree Naruto fell from was Tenten pulling Naruto up by the leg, grinning. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief. Sakura and Kakashi cursed inwardly. What a bunch of idiots, Sasuke said, leaning against the tree trunk. Well, they are making good progress, I guess, Kakashi remarked. Finally a week had passed. Zabuza had almost fully recovered and Kakashi was fine. Tenten and Naruto had practically mastered tree climbing. The bridge was almost complete. It doesn't look like he'll be going anywhere. He's totally worn out. How useless, Tenten-san, would you stay behind and watch Naruto for me? Tsunami were off. Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke left for the bridge. Where is everyone? Naruto asked, sitting up, kitty nightcap still on his head. Tenten gently forced the blonde shinobi down again. Hold on there, Naruto-kun. Kakashi and the others have already gone ahead to the bridge. You're supposed to rest, and I'm here to take care of you. So lie down. I know, but Tenten-chan, Naruto started to say. Tenten smiled grimly. I know. I feel it too. Today's the day, just be patient though. We'll be there soon, but first we have some business to take care of. The mist is rolling in, Sakura said ominously. They're here. Kakashi said, alarmed. Been a while, Kakashi. I see you still have those brats tagging along with you. An ominous voice, obviously Zabuza's, taunted. It looks like our masked friend is working with Zabuza. How quaint, Kakashi said. A large number of water clones appeared around the four. With a nod from Kakashi's head, Sasuke tore off, destroying all the water clones with his speed. Just as he was about to skid to a stop and pose, the poor Uchiha bastard slipped on the residue water, sending him flying over the rail and into the water below. Sasuke-kun! Sakura screamed. It'll be hard to take them both on by myself. It's times like these I wished I would stop being such an ass and train my students equally. Oh well, Kakashi thought. It looks like your brats haven't matured at all. What a pity. Haku? Zabuza chided. Indeed, Zabuza-sama, Haku responded from beneath her mask. But we're still on the offensive, now! Zabuza roared. Haku rushed forward, using her insane speed to quickly close the distance between her and Sakura. Just as she was about to make contact with Sakura's billboard brow, the masked ninja was knocked away. Absorbing the impact with her shoulder, she used her hand to vault her back into a standing position next to Zabuza again. Who was that? Zabuza, his tone betraying his apprehension. Let's get this right the first time. The voice, female, cleared her throat to protect the world from devastation. To unite all peoples within our nation. Another voice, male this time, articulated eerily through the thick fog. This fog, it's getting thicker, but it's not me, Zabuza remarked, eyes darting everywhere. To denounce the evils of truth and love, the female narrated. Behind us, Haku said. Everyone turned to face where she had pointed. They strained their eyes through the fog. Then they saw one bun-haired kunoichi and 5 orange ninjas fanning what appeared to be large blocks of dry ice towards the group of ninjas. Behind them was a miniature orchestra of Narutos, complete with a Naruto in a conductor's outfit, playing ominous background music. Shoot, Naruto, they found us! Let's skip to the end. Tenten held out both her hands and posed one hand on her hip, her other one outstretched, making a gun with her fingers. At Zabuza, Tenten, Jamma. What was it again? Naruto asked, posing in front of Tenten, kneeling with his hands behind him. Tenten brought her hand to her face and shook her head sadly. It's Naruto. You're supposed to say Naruto. Whatever, let's just finish it up, Tenten continued. Naruto, that's right. A third Naruto appeared, this one only a foot high, with his hands posed like a cat in front of the two. Kakashi, Sakura, and Tazuna's sweat dropped. I've failed. I worked so hard on that too. I even made a huge red R. I'm sorry, Guy-sensei. I failed you. Wahahaha, Tenten cried, anime tears flowing down her face. It's okay, Tenten-chan, let it all out. There's nothing wrong with crying. Sniffle, cry, Naruto said, holding Tenten's hands in his own, crying as well. I think Guy would be the only sensei in the world that would be disappointed at not finishing that motto, Kakashi thought to himself. I'm really sorry, Zabuza. They're usually not like this, really, Kakashi apologized. Ha ha ha, Zabuza laughed, wiping tears from his eyes. It's been a long time since I've had a laugh like that. This time Kakashi, Sakura, Tazuna, Naruto, and Tenten's sweat dropped. Well, back to the fight, Zabuza said, switching from laughing to dead serious, freaking out most of the people on the bridge. Right, let's do this. You two, take out that kid. I'll handle Zabuza, Kakashi said, lifting his forehead protector. Like you did last time? Baka-sensei? Tenten asked, clearly not convinced. Kakashi's sweat dropped even more. I promise I'll take care of it this time. Right, Naruto commented, obviously sarcastic. Let's go, Kakashi said, and charged Zabuza kunai in hand. The two jonin clashed, Kakashi being cut here and there by Zabuza and his head chopper cleaver. You should feel honored to go up against my Sharingan. No one has ever lived to go up against it a second time, Kakashi said. Zabuza sneered, either way it won't matter. Even if you can defeat me, you'll never kill Haku. That girl is my pride and the sharpest weapon in my arsenal. I've trained her mercilessly since she was a toddler, and she's become a true killing machine. Her skills surpass even my own, vastly superior to those pieces of trash following you around. Is there anything worse than listening to someone brag? Let's fight, Kakashi demanded, and the two clashed once again. By all means, now Ninpo, Kirigakyu no Jutsu, ninja art, hidden mist technique. The bridge was once again covered in a thick mist, and the master of silent killing attacked skillfully by sound alone. Appearing before Tazuna, Zabuza swung his sword downwards, fully intent on cleaving both the old man and girl in two, only to be blocked by Kakashi's own body. The Jonin received a shallow cut to his torso, splattering blood all over the eyebrowless Jonin. On the other side of the bridge, Haku engaged Naruto and Tenten as well. She dodged Tenten's projectiles, while parrying the somewhat clumsy taijutsu of Naruto. Blocking Naruto's punch and sending him flying, Haku's eyes widened. Tenten, spying an opening, launched a round of Kaige Shuriken at the masked ninja. Haku blocked Shuriken with one hand using Saban, and went through a flurry of hand seals with the other. Finally, she stomped her foot on the ground and said, Sensatsu Suisho, 1,000 flying water needles of death. One-handed! Tenten gasped as 1,000 Saban made out of water rocketed towards Tenten, effectively deflecting all of the Shuriken, while flying towards the bun-haired girl. Naruto moved in, arms outstretched, and took the hit for Tenten, the needles making his body into a pincushion. He grunted from the pain and collapsed to his knees as the needles dissolved back into ordinary water. Tenten moved in front of Naruto, concern clear in her eyes. Naruto-kun, don't try to move, rest here for a while. Here I go. Tenten pulled out from her weapons pouch her summoning scrolls. She pulls from the scroll kunai and took out a flail with a grappling hook end. I'll take you on with this, Tenten said, swinging her flail in a circle around her. Impossible, no one can match my speed, Haku said, fully confident in her abilities. Haku strafed left and right, evading Tenten's long range. The two ran down the stretch of the bridge, attacking and dodging, either landing much of a hit. Tenten could only keep up by pumping chakra into her legs to speed them up. No matter how fast your reaction time is, you're less aware of your surroundings while moving, especially at that speed. Tenten swung from behind Haku, the flail coming dangerously close to Haku. however she evaded to the left. Now! Tenten continued with her swing until the grappling end struck deep within a wall of stacked wooden crates left over from the construction. With a yell, the bun-haired kunoichi ripped the box out, creating a veritable avalanche of crates heading straight for Haku, who was running straight at it. Seeing it was too late to evade, Haku jumped, flying through the air over the boxes. She was confident she had dodged the other girl's attack until she felt something snake around her leg. The flail. Haku thought. Tenten, with all her might, brought Haku flying down in the opposite direction, landing with a sick crunch on the unforgiving concrete, creating a diagonal crack in Haku's white mask from the top of the left eye to the right end of the red swirl near the bottom. That's for Naruto, Tenten said, and turned around heading for Naruto. Suddenly, Tenten felt the air chill. Numerous mirrors of ice appeared around her, each reflecting a mask Tenten knew all too well. Makyu Hyashu, demon ice crystal mirrors. Haku said, her voice betraying no emotion as she picked herself up from the floor, clutching her arm. From not too far away the Jonin temporarily ceased their battle to watch as Haku slid into the ice mirrors. Our children can play together as my girl kills yours, Zabuza commented. With a reckless charge, Kakashi attacked yet again. The clashing of their blades obscured by the mist once more. What's she planning to do with these mirrors? Tenten thought, eyes darting. I'll show you real speed. Haku took off, a blur, landing more than 100 hits within the time it took Tenten to blink. Tenten was avoiding being skewered alive by inches. Using her quick reflexes, natural agility, an arsenal of weapons including a large steel shield, Tenten was able to avoid the Senbon hitting her vitals. Gritting her teeth, she prepared for the next onslaught of needles. Outside the mirrors, Zabuza and Kakashi battled on. Zabuza landing several hits on Kakashi, with Kakashi unable to use his eye due to the mist's effects. The silver-haired Jonin was slowly losing his fight. Naturally, Tazuna and Sakura could do nothing to help, and Sasuke had washed ashore still unconscious. All in all, things were looking grim. My own art takes up an enormous amount of chakra, so you'll have to forgive me wrapping this up, Haku said, her image distorting in the mirrors. The masked kunoichi warped at high speed towards Tenten, prepared to kill her, when she was intercepted by a chakra-enforced punch, stronger than anything she had felt before. Tenten, I'll kill the bastard who did this to you. Chapter 5. At the wave's end. And this kid's, a female voice said, is our Rokudame Hokage's natural state of mind, pointing to an exhibit in the Hokage Museum of blank white sheets of paper, called art. I don't get it, sensei, one of the academy's students whined. About 5 years ago, the Yamanaka clan attempted to discern the inner workings of his mind, and they recorded it here in the Hokage Museum, on these white sheets of paper. The voice said, one might even call it musical. Basically, it's blank and older. Tenten, probably in her mid-20s, continued. She was wearing a hanfu, basically a brown Chinese-style battle outfit with cream-colored cuffs and border. Time had been only good for the weapons mistress, and she had grown up a lot, but not surprisingly her hair was still in buns. Is that why you married him, sensei? This one a girl asked. No, that's not it, Tenten responded, caught off guard by the question. Then is it because he's strong? No, that's not it. Uchiha Sasuke was strong, but he ended up a traitor. I would never marry him, Tenten responded matter-of-factly. Is it because he's orange? A boy with blonde hair asked. You should know, he's your dad. Tenten remarked, obviously annoyed at her son. So why then? Yeah, we want to know, please tell us. Tenten backed away from the approaching academy students. Yes, we want to know too. A bunch of shinobi burst in through the windows. Most of them guys asked. Guys, we're already late to be at our post this morning. One pointed out. I have nothing to say about our Lord Hokage, and that's that. Tenten said, putting her foot down. Any other questions? Your birth date and star sign. August 7th, Leo. Where do you live? With the Hokage, of course. Tenten replied. Why do you wear those strange clothes? Another asked. In honor of my parents, Tenten responded. Hobbies and specialties? Training with Naruto-kun, and reading books, taking long quiet baths. As for specialties, you'll have to fight me to find out. Tenten giving the V for victory sign. What type of guys do you go for? I'm already married, goddamn, give it up. Tenten yelled. Do you want to fight? I'm in the middle of a lesson. Tenten snapped back. Please swear. You porky bastard. Tenten said, hey wait, that last one wasn't a question. Who said that? You. If you weren't my son, I'd come here so I can spank you, you little troublemaker, Tenten yelled, chasing after the little spiky blonde-haired kid down the streets of Konoha. The little kid ran as fast as he could, ducking and weaving through the throngs of people, waving to people as he passed by. Everyone in the museum exhibit's sweat dropped. I do not own Naruto or the franchise, and I receive no money. Author's note. Thanks to everyone who's read my story. I hope everyone finds this chop eater just as enjoyable as the last. Just so you know, I'm making Naruto 14, Tenten 15, and Haku 16, not that it really matters, but it might confuse some people later on, so yeah. Summary. Last chapter, Haku met with Naruto and the two talked about precious people. Naruto and Tenten mastered tree climbing within a week's time. After the end of that week, the showdown at the bridge began. Kakashi fought Zabuza and Haku faced off against Naruto and Tenten. In their fight, Naruto took water Senbon for Tenten and was rendered incapacitated. Haku fought with Tenten, with the latter gaining the upper hand until Haku unleashed her bloodline limit. Just as the masked Miss Ninja was about to finish off Tenten, she is intercepted, knocked back by an incredible force. And now on to the next exciting chapter of Descending Heaven. Kid, you're making me look bad. I'm sorry, but if you want to save her, and if I'm going to save my dignity, then I'm going to have to butt in. A deep feral howl echoed throughout the sewer of Naruto's mind. Then blood-red churka seeped through the gigantic wooden doors into the sewer of Naruto's mind. Naruto, previously knocked out by Haku's water needles, glowed red. The Senbon needles were burned away by the acidic chakra and the holes in Naruto's body closed up, failing to leave even a scar. The blonde shinobi's hair became slightly spikier and his whisker marks became more prominent. His hands became claw-like and his nails grew long. The most startling change was, of course, Naruto's eyes. The once cerulean blue eyes had become blood-red and feral like an animal's. With a sickening crunch of bones being repaired, Naruto's body stood up, and in an instant vanished, heading for Haku's ice mirrors. Inside, Tenten had received more punishment than she'd ever taken in all of Lee and Guy's training session combined. Her chakra was exhausted, her legs felt like jelly, and her arms felt like lead. Just as she closed her eyes and embraced her death, she whispered, "Naruto-kun." Haku streaked in from her mirror, moving so fast Tenten might as well have been standing still. She headed for Tenten, fully ready to embrace the shinobi philosophy and turn her heart to ice to sever the soul from the young girl's body. The masked Nukenin was about to make contact when a punch far stronger than any she had ever encountered knocked her back. "Tenten, who did this to you?" Naruto half said, half howled, red chakra pouring out of him. "I'll kill them." Haku froze, no pun intended. She was immobilized by the massive amount of killing intent literally pouring out of the genin in front of her. Unable to move, the ice kunoichi watched as Naruto grabbed the unconscious body of the weapon's mistress, bridal style. Determined to halt the raging Jinchuruki, Haku threw a handful of saban at the blonde ninja, who looked over his shoulder at the masked kunoichi. Suddenly, he seemed to growl and the saban clattered to the floor uselessly. Naruto carried the bun-haired kunoichi out of the mirrors, melting one with the pure pressure of his chakra, making a hole big enough for the two to fit through. The blonde ninja carried Tenten to Sakura and Tazuna, carefully setting her down before the two onlookers. "You remember that academy medical training, right, Sakura?" Naruto asked in a strange guttural voice, not his own. "Look after Tenten for me then, alright, Sakura?" The pink-haired kunoichi looked down in absolute shock, numb with bewilderment. This was not the Naruto she knew, the dork that had always been dead last at the academy. She wasn't sure she knew who this Naruto was at all. "Sakura?" Tazuna said, shaking the pink-haired ninja out of her stupor. "Right," Sakura responded, surveying the girl in front of him for the first time. Remembering the basic medical attention all genin were taught in the academy, Sakura first removed the sanban before applying antiseptic to the wounds and dressing the cuts with torn scraps from her red dress. Finally, she tore off another piece of her red dress, dipping it into the bridge and placing it on Tenten's forehead. Then taking back out a kunai, the pink-haired kunoichi resigned herself to waiting. Inside the ice mirrors, this person couldn't be, not Naruto-san. He was so sweet, so pure, so incredibly naive. This creature in front of her couldn't be the cute little ray of sunshine she had dreamt of every night since they had last met. Preoccupied with her thoughts, she didn't notice the Jinchuruki disappear from next to the girl and appear in front of her abruptly. With unparalleled speed and strength, Naruto grabbed her by the collar and proceeded to bash the girl with his fist, only to pull her back up and punch her again. Finally, the monster punched her dead in the mask straight through one of her ice mirrors onto the unforgiving concrete below. Cut and bruised in a dozen places, Haku struggled to stand. When she had finally raised her chocolate-brown eyes enough to meet Naruto's feral-red ones, what she saw there chilled her to the bone. On the other side of the bridge, Zabuza and Kakashi had finally noticed the evil chakra. "Zabuza, we're both busy people. If we don't hurry, none of us will survive. So let's finish this with one technique, okay?" That sounds interesting. "Let's go for it. After all, what could you possibly do in this situation?" Zabuza answered. "My masked Zabuza-sama, I've failed you. Even if he was not this horrifically strong, there's no way I would be able to kill this boy." The rest of Haku's mask fell from her face, revealing her feminine features. Her skin was pale and her eyes were empty, staring off somewhere into the distance. Just as Naruto was about to make contact with her delicate chin, the madness in his eyes vanished. He stopped, his fist inches from her face. "You're that cute girl from that time in the woods," Naruto whispered. "Why did you stop?" "I killed your precious person, did I not?" Haku asked. "Kyuso," Naruto said, remembering Tenten's still, pincushion form, punched Haku half-heartedly, barely knocking her down. "Where did your strength go?" Haku asked. "Emotionless don't make the mistake of letting me live." "Nanny?" Naruto asked, bewildered. "Some people make the mistake of letting their opponents live, thinking it is kindness. Do you know the pain of living without a dream?" Naruto started to say. "Zabuza-sama has no need for a weak shinobi." Haku smiled grimly. "You stole my reason for existing." Naruto thought of what Haku had said earlier, about precious people. Why do you fight for that guy? Is he the only precious person in your life?" Naruto asked, totally confused. "I used to have precious people, long ago. My parents," Haku whispered. "I did something I shouldn't have, even though they warned me, and as a result they died. I killed them all," she finished, her eyes blank, empty. As Haku told Naruto about her parents, about the tragedy befalling her and the land of the mist. The orange ninja couldn't help but feel the sense of kinship growing between the strange girl and himself. It was as if their lives had been parallel lines, only crossing now. He couldn't believe that the world could be so cruel to someone so young, but a part in the back of his mind understood only too well the pain of being alone she felt. That was when I felt the most painful thing in the world, the pain of not being needed by anyone, of not being cared for, of not being loved. Haku's empty eyes frightened Naruto. The blonde ninja knew that those brown eyes would haunt his dreams. She's the exact same as me. Until I met Tenten-chan and Iruka-sensei, I was the same way. Naruto shivered, cold chills running down his neck. He was 14, a year younger than Tenten, but as hard as he tried, he could only remember as far back as the day he first met Tenten, the day that life became worth living. As far as he was concerned, the time before he met her, he was not really alive. Zabuza-sama knew I had a bloodline limit. He knew of my terrible heritage, but he didn't care. He took me and raised me as his daughter. He saw the pain in my eyes, the same pain he has in his eyes when he thinks no one's looking, the pain I see in yours. Naruto was shocked, surprised that someone could see through his almost impenetrable mask. The truth was, when he wasn't with Tenten or his precious people, when he was alone, the pain sometimes resurfaced. All of the negative emotion directed at him by the villagers, all the chilling looks, all the graffiti and trash around his apartment, all the hate became one giant ball of pain in his chest. Strange as it was, the little talks between Kyubi and him during those moments were the only things keeping him sane in those dark moments, and he could plainly see that in some ways Haku was just the same. Naruto-kun, please kill me. Haku spoke softly as she gazed at the ground, unable to meet Naruto's eyes. Across the bridge, Kakashi had summoned his ninja dogs, using their sense of smell and latched them to Zabuza. He had broken one of the Mist Nukanen's arms and was making seals for his signature technique, the Chidori. I knew the day I met you in the forest that you went through the same pain I did. I knew you would understand better than anyone. Haku whispered. This can't be right. This can't be the only way. Arg, I'm so confused, what am I going to do? Naruto said, a big ball of black despair welling in his stomach. Naruto couldn't do it. Haku wasn't one of those faceless evil shinobi he had always dreamed of defeating. She had a story, she had emotions, she was precious to him. Is this really the only way? Hi, I'm sorry, Naruto-san. If we had met in a different place at a different time we could have been friends, Haku said, and perhaps even more, she thought to herself. Why? Is this what it means to be strong? Is this what it means to be a shinobi? Naruto said, tears welling in his eyes. Become strong, fulfill your dreams. I'm sorry I have to sully your pure heart with my death, Naruto-kun. Haku thought, prepared for death. When Naruto's eyes snapped open, they were filled with deadly determination. His hand dropped to his right thigh and drew a kunai. He was scarcely aware of that first step towards Haku, but he thought that he could feel every little detail of the cold, damp handle of the kunai as he drew it from his leg holster. He was moving, perhaps as fast as he had ever moved before. Chakra pumped through his legs, accelerating his movement. For a brief, whimsical second, his mind flashed back to the tree climbing training. He had never considered that he would be using those hard-earned skills to kill someone, especially so soon. It was all about jutsu and dreams, or at least it had been. His newfound knowledge, that he had been so eager to learn, now left a bitter taste in his mouth. Kyubi, is this what it means to be strong? Naruto asked. It's a big part of a kit, a big part. I just don't know. I don't know. What should I do? The confused Naruto asked. I don't know, Kit, only you do. Suddenly, Naruto flashed back to something Iruka had said in one of the few lectures Naruto had stayed awake for. After you leave the academy, whatever you choose to make of your lives, whatever your beliefs, whatever your dreams and whatever your choices, it's a shinobi's job to take responsibility for their actions, to take their lives in their own hands or die by another's. That is what we teach you here. The distance between the two ninja decreased rapidly. Naruto's vision narrowed. The beat of his heart seemed impossibly loud in his ears, and his footsteps seemed to shake the whole bridge. He was screaming now, though his ears were deaf to the noise around him. Haku smiled as Naruto ran towards her, ready to kill her. She thought, goodbye Naruto-kun. Then she sensed it. I'm sorry Naruto, I can't die yet. Haku easily dodged Naruto's kunai thrust and vanished into an ice mirror. Naruto was stunned as Haku vanished so suddenly. Hey, wait, where'd you go? Naruto yelled into the encircling mist. Haku-chan, you abandoned your village, Zabuza. Something a shinobi should never do. You killed many innocent people to get what you want, Kakashi said, his words hanging in the air like venom. I don't give a damn. I fight for my own ideals and my own beliefs. Spat the pin Nukenin. Your future is death. And Kakashi rushed forward, Chidori in hand. Suddenly Kakashi's eyes widened. In front of him appeared Zabuza's protege, Haku. Too late to stop, Kakashi thrust his hand forward, only to feel his hand sink into something else. Across the bridge a few seconds ago. Huh, where did she go? Naruto asked. Kit! The Kyubi mentally screamed. Kyubi, lend me your chakra. She's going to stop Kakashi-sensei and I'm going to get there first. Blood splattered everywhere. From over the side, Sakura and Tazuna gasped and looked away, horrified. In front of Zabuza was Haku, but in front of Haku was Naruto, arms outstretched, facing the black-haired Kunoichi and Kakashi. The Jonin had stabbed Naruto through his unprotected back all the way to the other side of his stomach. Kakashi's eyes widened, but he did not stop. Thrusting his arm deeper into Naruto, he attempted to skewer Haku. She would have been charred if Naruto, whether consciously or by instinct alone, latched onto Kakashi's arm with a death grip, blood trickling from his mouth as he smiled grimly. Finally, Kakashi was forced to pull his hand out, and Naruto's body, lacking the support, buckled and fell. "No," Haku whispered, then shrieked hysterically, "No!" Haku Zabuza started to ask, his black eyes darting between the bleeding blonde genin and Haku. "What? Naruto-kun?" "No." Haku wrapped her arms around Naruto, catching him from falling. Carefully, the black-haired Kunoichi lay Naruto on the ground, his head in her arms. "So he's the one," Zabuza whispered mostly to himself as he watched as the obviously enamored Haku held the heavily wounded fox container in her arms. Silently he watched Haku struggle to heal the gaping hole the Chidori had left in Naruto's chest to no avail. Try as she might, a wound of this seriousness couldn't be patched up with Haku's limited medical ninjutsu. "Naruto, no, you can't be dead." Haku brought Naruto's head to her chest, clutching her new-found precious person for dear life. "So this is the life of a shinobi, that is way too super harsh," Tazuna remarked, shaking his head sadly. "Naruto! No!" Sakura screamed from over where the two bystanders were watching. Hearing the noise, Tenten opened her eyes, only semi-conscious. "Naruto? You're alive, thank goodness," said the pink-haired Kunoichi, tearing at the eyes. Kakashi walked wordlessly past the crying raven-haired Kunoichi towards Zabuza, a kunai held menacingly in his hand. "You! How dare you!" Zabuza ran past the two ninja on the ground and using his one good arm, swung his huge sword like a feather, attempting to slash Kakashi in half. The slash never made it. Kakashi intercepted Zabuza's arm and cut his tendon with a kunai, causing his sword to slip out of the lifeless fingers. Zabuza's eyes widened at the pain, but managed to stand up wearily. Zabuza from across the bridge, Gato appeared, surrounded by at least 50 men, armed to the teeth with weapons. "I'm going to kill all of you here. After all, it's much cheaper to pay these bandits than a ninja like you." Gato laughed in a mad scientist kinda way when I heard the big demon of the mist was defeated by some kids. I almost laughed my ass off. "You make me sick." Gato spat on the ground. "There are too many, we can't take them all," Kakashi thought. "It looks like you're just a baby demon after all." Gato sneered. "Kakashi, I no longer have any reason to fight you." Zabuza turned to his student. "Haku, all of my belongings and savings are yours. I don't need them anymore." "But, what is this, Zabuza-sama?" she asked, still cradling Naruto. "Haku, whatever happens today, survive. No matter what it takes, I just wanted you to be happy. A good kid like you deserves it. Even if I die here today, just knowing that you're happy is good enough." "I understand, Zabuza-sama." Haku nodded, tears freely falling, as she cradled Naruto's head in her arms. Then he turned to Naruto. "Kid, sacrificing yourself for Haku, a person you didn't even know, even worse, sacrificing yourself for an enemy. That kind of stupidity will get you killed in this world. Compassion like that only makes us weak, you know." It pained Haku a lot to fight you. It broke her heart. She always was too kind. Even if shinobi are supposed to be tools, we aren't emotionless. We're all too human in the end. Tears cascaded down Zabuza's face, disappearing into the bandages wrapped around the lower half of his face. Wiping the tears away, in a loud commanding voice Zabuza shouted, "Listen to me, brat. Don't you die while I'm talking to you." The day after the two of you met, I knew it was over. She seemed lighter, happier. I knew right then this would be my last battle. So I'm giving you my sword, the Kubikiri, not because I like you, to protect Haku. So you better make it through this. The rest of the world isn't as kind as me." Despite his arm being broken, the masked Noopnin picked up his head chopper cleaver and planted in the ground next Haku and Naruto. "Haku, give me a kunai," Zabuza said. Haku blinked once. She didn't carry any kunai, usually relying on Saban to serve as both kunai and shuriken. Her eyes wandered along the ground, hoping to spot one lying amidst the rubble, until she spotted one. With a small jolt, the icy Kunoichi realized it was the one Naruto had clutched in his now bloodied hand, the very kunai he had almost killed Haku with not a minute ago. Easing the kunai out of the blonde ninja's hand, she gave it to Zabuza, who caught it in his mouth. Zabuza, kunai in mouth, charged at Gato. "We'll see who's a real demon in hell." The crappy little businessman ran into the depths of his bodyguards and cowered. Zabuza roared, kunai in his mouth, his chakra manifesting itself as a huge red demon. The mist Noopnin ran through the crowd, not caring enough to dodge any of the bandits' attacks. With one slash from the kunai in his mouth, Gata's head flew from its body, and both their bodies slumped to the ground, lifeless. Kyuso means damn or crap. Nani means what? I tried to finish this as fast as I could because some people seem to be getting antsy about the wave arc taking so long. Next up is the Chunin exam. If you noticed, I made Zabuza seem a little more kind, mostly because after I knocked Naruto out by Kakashi's Chidori, taking the hit for Haku, I lacked the moral compass that Naruto provided in the original. So, I had to make him seem a little more good of his own accord, rather than Naruto persuading him. Go figure. I really struggled with this chapter, trying to make a believable scene where Zabuza gives Naruto his sword, I've just got 2 words for you. Not easy. Thanks for everyone's reviews, though I didn't get quite as many as I wanted before I posted this chapter. In the end it doesn't really matter. I guess I'm not going to be one of those authors that demands to have 40 or so reviews before he or she updates again. That being said, I do love reviews. They increase my chapter output tenfold at least. Also, feel free to PM, email me, etc. if you don't understand anything in my chapters. Sometimes I go between Japanese and English just because it's how it would happen if I were watching it or reading it, and I take it for granted that everyone knows what it means, like saying hi or nanny, simple Japanese stuff. I sometimes forget that not everyone watches as much anime as me. Of course I will try my best to refrain from. Anyways, I hope to have the next chapter out within a week or so. I hope everyone looks forward to it. Jamada. And now on to the next exciting chapter of Descending Heaven. Naruto-kun. Haku screamed and sat up, ignoring the throbbing pain in ribs and arm. Easy there, dear, you're still recovering. You've quite a few broken ribs and your arm is fractured as well. I'm afraid you won't be fighting for a while. Are you thirsty? Tsunami said, fetching the younger girl a glass of water. Yes please, Haku responded politely. Her bloodline required her to drink a little more water than an average person due to water she expended through her jutsu, and though she didn't want to admit it, her throat burned awfully. Thank you, she said, gulping down the entire glass. As Haku drank, her uninjured hand unconsciously came to her throat, feeling the cold liquid trickle down the back of her throat. Sensing something absent, she exclaimed, "My bandages and my choker. Where are they?" Haku questioned frantically upon realizing the said items were missing. Her bandages kept her breasts from showing and the choker hid her lack of Adam's apple. They were a vital part of her disguise, especially in a land where any helpless female could be subject to a man's carnal desires. Haku wasn't helpless anymore. In fact, she could easily kill most men that would try to get their way with her, but a small dark part of her mind reminded her that she was a virgin kunoichi, and wanted to do everything she could to keep it that way. I had to take them off of you to treat your wounds. Don't worry, I cleaned off the blood and washed them. Tsunami smiled in a mothering way that reassured the missing ninja. I see, and the blade hidden in my sleeves. Over there on the countertop, do you want it? Tsunami asked. Haku nodded silently. Carefully, she examined the wakizashi, scrutinizing it for any sign of wear, tear or blood. As she had thought, not a single mark remained on it. With an uneasy carefulness, Haku slipped the blade into her kimono's long sleeve and the wakizashi disappeared from sight, lost amid the folds and creases of the kimono. So what will you do now, Haku-chan? The older woman asked innocently after the younger woman had finished. I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet. First I need to visit Zabuza-sama's grave, Haku responded, staring off into the distance, remembering the events that had transpired. Well, although we don't know you all that well, my father and I would welcome it if you decided to stay here. Of course, I'm sure you'd rather go back with Naruto-kun, but think it over. Tsunami smiled mockingly, left, leaving the girl to her thoughts. How did she know about me and Naruto-kun? Haku thought, mortified. Oh, by the way, you talk in your sleep. I think you two would make the cutest couple, Tsunami added as she walked out the door. Realizing what she must have muttered about Naruto and her, Haku blushed heavily. Still without Zabuza, she didn't know what to do. It had been nearly a week since Zabuza's death and Gata's attack. Sasuke was found, much to Naruto's dismay, and was brought back to Tazuna's house. He hadn't talked to anyone since his epic battle on the bridge. Naruto had confirmed it as a case of a major case of sore loser. Sakura was the same as usual as well, working on her looks and trying to take care of Sasuke rather than her shinobi skills. Due to the power of the Kyuubi's chakra and some minor medical treatment, Naruto was soon up and about, playing with Inari and helping around the house, till Haku and Tenten got well. It seemed, despite the incredible battle they had fought, everything regarding Team 7 had remained the same. Kakashi still favored Sasuke and the sun went round the earth. The only thing that seemed to be different is the way Sakura treated him. Though she usually treated him bad, calling him an idiot and blaming him for things that couldn't have possibly been his fault, after the battle on the bridge, the girl had went as far as to go out of her way to avoid him. Naruto would say hi and the pink-haired kunoichi looked at him with those eyes full of fear, as if he were a wild animal. She would stammer hi back and then quickly find some excuse to get away from the blonde Jinchuruki. Sakura's not an idiot, she saw me while I was using the chakra. She's probably figured out, Naruto thought to himself, depressed. It's alright, Kit, you've already got a fine vixen, you don't need that pink-haired ninja, the Kyuubi said, trying to cheer his container up, unsuccessfully. Naruto-kun, could you please run down to the market and get some groceries for me? We need some tofu and cabbage and some other things for tonight's dinner. Asked Tsunami. Sure, I got it. Naruto exclaimed, jumping with the joy of being needed, his brooding gone once again behind his mask. Thanks, Naruto-kun, Tsunami said, handing the blonde ninja the list happily. Even though Naruto had volunteered to go into the village and search for groceries, of course, luck would have it that Naruto was born without a sense of direction and constantly relied on Tenten to guide him. Needless to say, wandering around by himself was a less than smart idea. He'd be walking one way, when he'd see some cool ninja gear, or a ramen shop, and he'd end up hopelessly lost. This place sure is crowded and I can't find half the junk on this list. Naruto complained, bumping into a man with a sign around his neck that said "Will do anything for food." At least with the bridge complete, more businesses will be traveling here to the land of the wave. At least I think so, Naruto thought out loud as he walked through the streets. The few groceries he had managed to find. Relax, kid. It's nice to have some free time every once in a while. You shouldn't spend all your life training. I know, Kyubi, but still, Naruto said, thinking about the black-haired kunoichi. Ever since she'd woken up days ago, she'd been locked up in Tsunami's room, not even removing herself from her self-imposed isolation for meals. Tsunami, it seemed, had been the only one to see the mysterious kunoichi. The older woman, sensitive to Haku's fragile state of mind, had allowed no visitors, despite Naruto constantly asking to talk to her. Where am I? Naruto wondered aloud, taking in for the first time his surroundings. Paradise on Earth massage parlor? How did I end up here? Oh, good to see you too. I'll be sure to come around again. Bubi now. A large man, wearing red and green as well as a forehead protector with the kanji for oil on it, said lecherously. I would have made this more descriptive, but I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about by now. The man turned, his mane of white hair blowing in the sea breeze, and walked past the confused genin, without giving him a second glance. Hey, wait up, old man. Do you know how I can get back to old man Tazuna's house? Naruto asked, chasing after him. He was just about to grab the man's yukata when, what do you think you're doing, Gaki? Don't you know who I am? The man asked, removing off Naruto's hand from his shirt. Naruto could only shake his head, which made a vein pop in Jiraiya's forehead. What are they teaching kids these days? I mean, to not know me of all people. Well, I guess I'll just have to show you. Jiraiya said, half to himself. What are you talking to yourself about? I'm right here. My name's Uzumaki Nara, Naruto started to say. Lost among humanity. Flooded with anger, the sky cries tears of blood. I am the great hermit sage, the legendary Sannin, the toad demon of the mysterious Miyaboku mountain, the great Jiraiya. Ugh! The old man proceeded to perform a ridiculous dance, consisting of some weird kabuki-like poses, the dance he does when he first meets Naruto, then fell face first onto the street as he tripped on his own feet. Watch carefully, kid, there's something odd about that old man who smells of oil. Are you sure you're not thinking of someone else? This guy looks like an idiot, and probably a perv. Naruto thought out loud, earning an annoyed look on the face of Jiraiya. Well, thanks for dropping by, goodbye now. Jiraiya said, the scent of alcohol thick on his breath. Suddenly, a rather large toad with red skin and blue markings appeared underneath him and outstretched its tongue. Gamma! Jiraiya commanded. The toad sent Naruto flying over the buildings, vanishing in the sky with a ping of light along with his hard-found tofu. That sure took care of that pest, eh, Gamma? Jiraiya asked the silent toad playfully. Although I can't help thinking I forgot something. What was his name? Uzumaki something. Oh well, watch out, ladies, cause Jiraiya's here. Tenten had recovered from her pseudo death experience shortly after Zabuza had been killed. Though she was knocked out at the time of death, she was spared no detail and had heard everything that had went on. The bun-haired girl considered herself to be a very down-to-earth person and dealt with the eyebrowless shinobi's death quicker than the others, mostly because she had a whole year's worth of missions under her belt. Tenten had had to deal with this kind of stuff before as part of Team Guy and as a kunoichi, who aspired to be as great as the legendary Sannin, Tsunade. Still, she couldn't help but notice the change in Naruto after the battle. The bun-haired kunoichi couldn't help but wonder what had made her normally energetic Nakama so serious. Twice in the last 4 days she had approached him only to find herself unable to get the words out of her mouth when she saw that distant look in his brilliant cerulean eyes. Killing, Tenten knew, changed people forever. Most people have a hard time coping with their own close encounters with death, or the death of someone close to them. Still, she had to find him. She was the only support he had. Tenten buried her face in her pillow, releasing the breath she didn't know she was holding in. Getting out of her bed with a groan from her protesting body, the young weapons mistress fixed her hair up in buns, grabbed her ninja equipment, and headed out to find Naruto. Naruto screamed as he landed in the frigid sea the land of waves was known for, soaking him to the bone. The icy cold water struck his body like a million spikes. Coughing and spitting up water, he made his way to the bank. Taking off his heavy jacket, Naruto realized where he had landed. He was standing on a bridge, the setting sun reflecting on the sparkling clear blue water. It was so beautiful, the kind of thing you'd show to your girlfriend, that for a second he didn't even realize it. He was on the bridge where his blood and the blood of his comrades painted the ground. The place where he had almost lost Tenten, Haku, and his own life. For what? For money and power and greed. For a shinobi's honor, and whatever else it was that drove men to fight. Naruto thought about what Kakashi had said earlier after the battle. Ninjas are merely tools for our homeland to use as they see fit. It's as true for Konoha as it is anywhere else, he had said. Naruto walked along the bridge till he found himself at Zabuza's grave, the head chopper cleaver marking his eternal resting place. The orange ninja's mind flashed back to the first time he met Haku, till Zabuza's death days after. Naruto was so confused and sad, tears welled at his eyes, threatening to pour down his cheeks. He remembered the pure horror in Haku's brown eyes, he remembered the incredible malice in Kakashi's. He remembered Tenten's unconscious form. For a moment, he had thought she really was dead. Naruto brushed the tears from his eyes with his sleeve. Suddenly behind him appeared Tenten in a puff of smoke. Enveloping the boy in a wordless hug, The two genin stood in silence in front of Zabuza's grave. Are we just tools for killing? Is that really the way it has to be for me, for Tenten-chan, like it was for Haku? I can't accept that. That can't be all there is to being a ninja, to being Hokage. What about protecting those precious to you? How are you doing? Asked Tenten, releasing the blonde genin. I'm alright, Naruto said, smiling. No, you're not. Tenten exclaimed, pulling the sides of the blonde ninja's smile. I can't tell when you do that fake smile, idiot. Ouch, Naruto said, rubbing his cheeks where the weapon's mistress had pulled them. I forgot you could see through it. Stop being so stubborn, Naruto. We're nakama, aren't we? I know, countered Naruto, but. No buts, Tenten said, stamping her foot. To increase the effect, you always smile, even when you feel sad, and then you try to handle everything by yourself. Gomen, I just don't want you to worry over me, answered the blonde Jinchuruki. That's what I'm here for, Naruto, you big dork, Tenten said, hands on her hips. Don't just decide on your own, tell me. If you do, then I can help. If it's what you really want, I'll support you. Arigato, Tenten-chan, thanks to you, I've decided, Naruto said, placing his hands on the kunoichi's slender shoulders. Huh? Tenten said, slightly blushing. I've decided, Naruto said. I'm going to create my own shinobi code, my own nindo. I'm going to become the best ninja in history, and protect all my precious people, Haku-chan, Iruka-sensei, you, everyone in my sight, Konoha, Suna, Kiri, Jonin, Nukanin. I don't care where they're from, cause in the end we're all the same on the inside. I'm going to make sure no one has to go through the pain we went through. I understand, Naruto, and I'll be right at your side the entire way, responded Tenten. After all, you can't get rid of me that easily. I wouldn't have it any other way, Tenten-chan, Naruto said softly back the bun-haired kunoichi, almost a whisper. Then it's a promise, Naruto holding up his fist, and we never go back on our word, Tenten finished, because that's our shinobi way. That's right, said Naruto. The two ninjas stood there in front of Zabuza's grave in mutual silence for a moment, something about the way the setting sun hit the waves. Naruto's cerulean blue eyes met Tenten's chocolate brown, the two communicating without the need for words. Suddenly, without even thinking, Tenten reached out, reaching for Naruto's hand with her own. Naruto's first reaction was to recoil, an instinct honed by the beatings he had received by the villagers. And despite the fact that he now was stronger than any normal villager, the blonde ninja could still not control the sudden urge to pull away. Tenten, noticing her longtime friend's distress, clutched Naruto's hand all the harder, giving it a reassuring squeeze. It's okay, Naruto-kun. Naruto had never really noticed before how delicate Tenten's hands were. They were small and delicate and soft despite all of the many hours of training both with her team and with Naruto. A small part in the back of his mind wondered if all kunoichi hands were this soft. The two stood there for what seemed like an eternity, side by side, hand in hand, in comfortable silence. Come on, Tenten-chan, let's go home. I bet a bowl of ramen. The others are waiting for us. Yeah, you're probably right, Tenten agreed. Still, I can't shake this feeling that I forgot something. Probably important, Naruto thought to himself as the two genin walked slowly back to old man Tazuna's house. The two didn't hold hands, but they walked side by side together close enough that he could feel the warmth coming of the budding kunoichi beside him. As they came to the house, the two were surprised to find Tsunami standing outside waiting for them pleasantly, her familiar smile on her face. Naruto-kun, where are my groceries? The blonde ninja brought his hand up, hitting himself squarely on his face. Crap. The next day, thanks to you, the bridge that will save us all has been completed. But to be honest, Tazuna said, laughing a bit, it'll be pretty dull once you're gone. We've enjoyed your hospitality. Kakashi gave that one-eyed smile of his. No problem, Tazuna my man, we'll come back and see you guys again someday. Naruto said, a grin on his face. You better, Inari said, starting to sniffle. Inari, don't let it get you down, it's okay to cry if you want to, Naruto said to the young kid. I'm not going to cry, big brother, but you can if you want to, Inari said, holding tears back. Me, no way. See, and Naruto turned around and started walking. Oh, okay, Inari said, crying. Just as Sakura was about to yell at the blonde ninja for making Inari cry, she saw Naruto him crying tears also. Bonehead, she remarked. Oh, Kakashi-sensei, I forgot something I have to do before I leave. I'll be back in a minute, you guys go on ahead. Naruto walked a little bit ahead, then disappeared in a puff of smoke. Hey, where's Naruto off to? Tenten asked her pink-haired teammate, but inside she knew the answer. He's probably going to see that creepy hunter Nin girl. Sakura answered, shuddering. Tenten mused as she walked. With Naruto. Naruto appeared in a clearing not far from where he had disappeared using the Shunshin Jutsu, body flicker, something he'd finished learning here in the waves after the battle against Zabuza from out of a scroll, with some advice from the weapon's mistress who knew it already. It was really just a short burst of speed with some smoke and leaves for effect. Together it sorta made it look like he could teleport, not all that useful, but the blonde ninja liked it because it made him look more badass when appearing or leaving a clearing, something he definitely enjoyed doing. Standing there, in front of Zabuza's grave, was Haku, praying for the deceased Nukanin. The Nine-Tails container silently walked up to the grave till he was standing right next to Haku. He bowed slightly, in respect for the Nukanin that gave his life to save theirs, before speaking. Haku-chan, how are you holding up, alright? Hi, Haku said, giving the best smile she could manage, her heart clearly not in it. Naruto felt strangely guilty whenever he thought about the hunter ninja's distress, unable to shake the nagging feeling that Haku's pain was his fault. A small part of him knew that there had been a lot of things out of his control during that battle, but reason and guilt didn't necessarily mingle in the same circles. As soon as he began to think about it, he would begin to imagine scenarios where he had been stronger, or faster, or smarter, where he could have prevented Haku's precious person's death. What are you going to do now, Haku-chan? I don't know, Haku whispered so low Naruto could barely hear it, the pain in her voice evident. Without Zabuza-sama, I'm not quite sure what to do. When he saw she wasn't going to extrapolate, Naruto continued, well, if you're not sure, you could come with us back to Konoha. I could talk to the Jisan and get him to let you stay there. I don't know, Haku's silent response seemed to say without Zabuza-sama, I'm not sure I've the will to live. The silent girl thought back to Zabuza's last words right before he died. Haku, all of my belongings and savings are yours, live a good life. Make friends, fall in love. He had said nice words, but that didn't make it any easier for Haku to decide what to do next, or where to go. Live for me, Haku-chan. Haku's froze, her mind unable to process what Naruto had said. Gomen, what did you say, Naruto-san? I don't want you to commit seppuku, Haku-chan. You're precious to me, and if you need something to live for, then I'll be your reason. Naruto said, not meeting her eyes. I need you, and while it may not be necessarily true in the strictest sense, Naruto had found another person with a past just as bad as his. How could he leave her now, after all she had experienced? A tear welled up and froze as it made its way down her cheek. Zabuza-sama, I think I've finally found someone the same as myself. I don't know what you would do in this situation, but I think I might be able to find that happiness you wanted for me with Naruto-kun. Naruto thought back to their short fight on the bridge. She had said that she wouldn't have a reason to live anymore. If so, then, Naruto-san, Haku looked away, her eyes meeting the ground. Naruto suddenly burst into laughter. I'm the one who should be sorry, saying something stupid like that. It's just I. The black-haired kunoichi could feel the half-heartedness of his laughter. She could see the fake smile he now wore. He was hiding behind a mask the same as she was. It's just I thought you might come here to kill yourself. You've looked so empty since Zabuza died, and I just wanted to make sure, Naruto said, his false cheer dissolving as fast as it had come, his words hanging in the air like a heavy fog, threatening to choke her. Haku shook her head, tears falling from her eyes. No, that's not it at all. Thanks to you, Naruto-kun, I think I finally know what path to take. Oh? What path is that? Naruto asked, surprised she had decided so quick, and clueless as ever. The one right beside you, to Konoha, Haku answered. I don't think I get it. Naruto-kun said he could ask the Hokage. If you will let me stay with you, then I accept, Haku said, choosing her words carefully. That is, if you will have me, Naruto-kun. Naruto, oblivious as ever, replied without hesitation, of course, Haku-chan. Then Haku said, kneeling in front of Naruto, bending so low that her delicate nose nearly touched the ground, her raven black tresses veiling her face, preventing Naruto from seeing her expression. I, Mizukage Momoichi Haku, will follow you till the ends of the earth, my Naruto-sama. Follow me, Naruto repeated, till the end. My life is yours to do with what you want, Haku said. I am your tool to use as you see fit, master. Naruto helped the young woman to her feet, forcing her to raise her head, earning a confused look from Haku. Haku, you're not a tool. You are your own person with your own dreams. Haku paused, thinking, before replying. My dream is to help you accomplish your dream, Naruto-sama. Fine then, but you're a great kunoichi and one of the nicest girls I've ever met, just like Tenten-chan or even I am Nichin, Naruto said. Irika-sensei always told me to respect women. I can't call you my tool, that's too. What would Irika-sensei call it? Demeaning. Regardless of titles, you are my master, Naruto-sama, and I am yours, Haku answered, her eyes revealing how passionate the young woman really was, which of course was lost upon the thick-head Naruto. Then it's settled from today on, we're nakama, Naruto said, seeing he couldn't change the ice mistress's mind. And you're coming back with me to Konoha. It's going to be great when we get back. We're going out for Ichiraku's to celebrate. Haku smiled warmly at the young ninja, so radiant and full of life. Of course, until the day I die, Naruto-sama, I am yours. Back in the land of the wave, Tsunami's house. That reminds me. We still haven't formally dedicated the bridge, and a bridge isn't a bridge until it has a name, Tazuna said, looking at their very own bridge with his daughter and grandson. What are we going to call it, Ji-san? Inari asked. Inari, that boy touched your heart and the hearts of everyone in this village. Naruto built the bridge that gave us hope and courage, and gave us freedom, Tazuna explained to his grandson. And the name will be? Come on, father, tell us already. Tsunami asked, half annoyed with her father, and half full of excitement. The name will be the Naruto Daiohashi, Great Naruto Bridge. Hee, it's a nice name, Dad. Are you sure about calling it that? Tsunami asked, giggling. I'm quite sure. I'll start working on the inscription tomorrow. I know that giving it that name will ensure it stands forever, as a symbol of what those kids had to go through, as a symbol of endurance and triumph of the human spirit. Teehee, that's a good a reason as any. Tsunami giggled. How was the chapter? I'm sure you all figured that Haku was going to stay with Naruto in the end, because it wouldn't have the emotional impact, or something like that otherwise. I'm not sure if I translated the Great Naruto Bridge correctly. If you know of a better one, let me know. On a different note, I'm sorry that I didn't get to the Chunin exams yet, but you know what they say, all in due time. But I try to end the chapter with either a twist, a cliff, or some sort of ending, so when readers read it, they think, wow, that's a kinda cool, feel-good ending to the chapter, like a manga artist doing weekly chapters would. You know? Chapters to me should be like emotional roller coasters, There are highs and lows, and I try to end it on an interesting knot. But I'm not sure if I always get that point across, but that's what I'm trying to do. Anyways, tell me what you think. Read and review and whatnot. I don't mind it, it's only a couple of words or something I spelled wrong. Just do what you can. Look out next week for the start of the Chunin exams. This is Hiro, signing off. Jamada. And so commences the newest addition to Descending Heaven. The group had finally arrived back in Konoha. When they had walked through the front gates, they were instantly escorted to the Hokage's office. And so that's how we met Haku-san and completed our escort mission to the Land of Waves. Kakashi finished explaining to the Hokage their situation. I see, so that's what happened. The Hokage said, his hands folded on top of his desk. I can't imagine that a simple mission could have escalated so far, but I must say, I am deeply impressed how this squad handled the mission. Thank you, Hokage-sama, Kakashi replied. I will make sure you receive pay equal to an A-rank mission for your efforts. Kakashi, Sakura, Sasuke, you are dismissed, the Hokage said, removing his usual pipe from his mouth and setting inside one of his drawers. Haku watched with anticipation as the Hokage cleared his desk of its usual papers. She was a little nervous speaking to the Hokage of the Konoha. He had the power to say whether or not she could stay in this village with her Naruto-sama. So, Haku-san, I understand that you wish to become a citizen and shinobi of Konoha. The Hokage said, folding his hands, leaning forward in his chair. Yes, Haku croaked, her voice hoarse. Then I must ask, why have you decided to do so? I wish to stay as near as possible to Naruto-sama, Haku responded. I see, why do you wish to stay with Naruto-sama? The Hokage asked, eyeing the girl thoughtfully. Why do you care for a stranger you've known for only weeks? Naruto-sama is my light and my master. I would do anything to protect him, Haku answered coolly. The most effective way to do that is to become a Konoha shinobi. Haku-san, I don't mean to be rude, but to be a ninja under a country, one must have absolute loyalty to the village. I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but Naruto is a very special case. What would happen if Naruto went rogue and I ordered that Naruto killed? I care nothing for this village nor its people, nor do I favor any other village. However, to protect my master, I would become the dog of Konoha. Haku paused before continuing. If you were to make me choose between Naruto-sama and Konoha, then I would not hesitate. And? Sarutobi asked. I would defend Naruto-sama with my life. Haku stated, and though the volume of her volume had not changed, Sarutobi would have had to be blind to miss the passion swelling within Haku's chocolate brown eyes. Sarutobi too paused before speaking. I do hope you understand that your criminal record, in addition to the comments you've just made, will make it impossible to become a full-fledged shinobi of Konoha. But Aji-san, Naruto interrupted. Therefore there will be a trial period. There will be an umbu watch placed on Haku-san at all times, for the first 3 months. If any suspicious activity is detected, you will most likely be banished or even executed. However, in light of the fact that you have aided Team 7, you are free to go and explore anywhere you wish, within the village's limits of course. Do you accept the offer, Haku-san? Hi, Haku responded. Very good, Sarutobi answered. Then there is just the small matter of your residence, Haku-san. I'm fully aware you can take care of yourself, but if you wish I could look for a temporary residence until you find a suitable place to stay, the Hokage said. That won't be necessary, Haku responded, not a breath after the Hokage had offered. The Hokage asked through his pipe. I'll be staying with Naruto-sama from now on. While it is unusual, both Naruto and you are considered to be legal adults, and it is well within your own rights to choose to live together. Nani! Naruto yelled at the top of his voice. Sumimasen, Naruto-sama, I forget my place. Haku said reproachfully, her eyes downcast. I merely thought that. No, I guess that's okay. As long as you don't mind a mess, I'd be happy to have you. Naruto stuttered. It's just that when I thought about living under the same roof with such a pretty girl. You think too much of me, Naruto-sama. I'm honored, Haku said, fiddling with the edge of her yukata's sleeve, a slight blush accentuating her pale skin. It is settled, from now on Haku-san's permanent place of residence is with Naruto-kun. Then please take good care of me, Naruto-sama, Haku said, bowing. Of course, Naruto answered. Then let's get going. Where to, Naruto-sama? Haku asked, taken abruptly. Where else on a tour around Konoha? I want to show you around Konoha, Naruto answered, energetically pulling the lighter woman through the bustling streets of the Leaf. The blonde Jinchuruki led the two of them through the village at a frantic pace. Naruto had pointed out sights of interest to her, and accompanied with almost all of them were amusing and highly exaggerated tales of Naruto's life in the village. Some stories were sad, but most made Haku giggle with laughter. Putting people at ease and humorous storytelling seemed to be two of Naruto's greatest talents. This is the place where I was tied up the day of the bell test. Man, I hated that stump. Ooh, and this is the place where I first learned the Kage Bunshin, and this is Naruto continued. Aniki! Naruto! A small boy wearing a much too large scarf called out. Beside the cocky boy were a sickly-looking boy with snot dripping from his nose and a cheerful orange-haired girl. Oh, it's you guys. Naruto responded. You guys. Konohamaru yelled. We're the Konohamaru Corps. Where do you get the nerve to call us you guys, and besides, where have you been, Aniki? We haven't played ninja with you in forever. Play ninja? Haku thought aloud, slightly confused as to why a real ninja would play ninja. Naruto rubbed the back of his head, embarrassed. You see, who's the pretty one, Ichan? The orange-haired girl, Moegi asked, staring intently at Haku. She's beautiful. Konohamaru smiled knowingly. I know, Aniki, she's your holding up his little finger to show he meant girlfriend. Well, Naruto said, rubbing his head embarrassed once again. Pleased to meet you, Konohamaru-san. I am Momoichi Mizuki Haku. Haku said, smiling. Aha, I knew it. You two are like this, Konohamaru said, crossing his pointer and middle finger. Konohamaru, quit it. Enough with the sign language already. Naruto yelled, waving his arms dramatically at the Hokage's grandson. Oh my! That's so wonderful. Moegi said, blushing. How did you two meet? Well, see, that's what I was trying to tell you earlier. I've been gone because I was on a super important mission. Naruto answered, grinning. A super secret mission? The three ninjas in training said simultaneously. Yeah, you see, there was this important VIP named Tazuna, and Naruto said, narrating a grossly exaggerated, and mostly false, story about the mission to the wave to the Konohamaru Corps, excluding the gory bits and the part about Haku's role in the mission. Three impressionable young minds were shocked and awed by Naruto's grand tale of courage. And you saved her. Well, that's amazing, Aniki. From now on you are officially our leader. Konohamaru said. Yeah, thanks for playing ninja with us again, Udan added, sniffling between words. I'll be rooting for you, Moegi said, bringing her hands up to her face to cover the blush on her cheeks. See you later, alright, boss. Konohamaru finished, and with a small, obviously homemade smoke bomb, the trio of pin-sized ninja were gone. Those three Naruto trailed off. I think that's wonderful that you spent time with those young ones, Naruto-sama. Haku said suddenly in the silence that followed. I wish I had someone older to play with when I was their age. Sakura and most other ninja would have said that playing ninja when you've already become a genin is a stupid waste of time, which could be spent training or on missions, but Haku's comment had caught Naruto totally off guard. It was pretty nice, being acknowledged every once in a while, thought Naruto. No, it's nothing really, I guess I just have a way with kids, ahahaha. Naruto laughed, rubbing the back of his neck. The more I learn about Konoha, the more I learn about you, Naruto-sama, the more I'm happy to have you as my master, Haku thought to herself. The raven-haired girl thought back to the time she was a child living in the gutters of the Mist Village. No shelter, no friends, barely enough food to sustain her poor weak body. A solitary tear welled at the corner of Haku's chocolate brown eyes. How she had wished that she had found someone like Naruto while she was growing up. Maybe then blinking, Haku removed the tear before Naruto could notice. But she thought, now Naruto-sama has found me now. It's more than I could ever have wished for. Oh Haku-chan, come on, there's one more place I want to show you. Haku instantly snapped back out from her thoughts. Sumimasen, yes of course, Naruto-sama. This, Naruto said, is the Ninja Academy where I learned to be a ninja. Haku looked at Konoha's Ninja Academy with interest. It looked surprisingly peaceful and utilitarian, more like a civilian school than a shinobi one in appearance. It looks nice, Haku said wistfully as they walked onto the grounds, though she had a few good memories from when Zabuza had taught her, a part of her wished that she could have learned in a place like the academy. Naruto's head lowered. Yeah, he agreed quietly. By now, night had fallen over Konoha. The dim glow of a single street lamp illuminated the academy, casting the school in a somber light. It was a nice place, for most young ninja. Naruto, on the other hand, didn't have too many good memories of the academy. He had some for sure, but the bad far outweighed the good. For every happy memory with Iruka or Tenten, there were a dozen more full of mocking laughter, cold eyes, rejection, and bitter failure. Still, this was the place that he had learned to become a ninja, a very important part of his young life, the very first stepping stone on the long road to Hokage. It's a nice place, Naruto-sama? Haku's worried voice snapped him out of his melancholy. Naruto half grinned feebly, a painful touch of nostalgia in it. I used that swing a lot. Naruto pointed to the old, battered wooden swing that hung under the tree dominating the courtyard. Whenever I failed the exam, I would sit on that swing and watch as all of the other kids were led away by their parents. Naruto-sama, the loneliness that he exhibited was palpable, and so very familiar. Haku did the only thing that came to mind. The raven-haired Kunoichi wordlessly stepped behind her master and wrapped her arms around him tightly. Naruto stiffened in surprise. Haku-cha dash? It's okay, Naruto-sama. Haku whispered into his hair. You're not alone anymore. Thank you, Haku-chan. I'm alright now, Naruto said, as Haku removed her hands from around him. Come on, it's getting late, let's eat and then I'll show you your new home. After leaving the academy, Naruto headed straight for Ichiraku's. The teeny ramen stand was run by Tuchi and his young, cheerful daughter Ayam. Since Naruto provided most of the revenue for the restaurant, they'd quickly become good friends with the blonde-haired ninja. Hey old man Ichiraku. I'll take 3 deluxe miso ramen with an extra egg in it. Naruto asked at the top of his lungs, practically drooling from the delicious smell of ramen. What do you want, Haku-chan? The blonde Jinchuruki asked. Haku pondered, tilting her head thoughtfully. Then after a brief pause, I'll have one of what you're having. Alright, 4 deluxe miso ramen please. Well, if it isn't Naruto, I haven't seen you in a while. Who's the lady friend? Tuchi asked, as he cooked up their orders. Oh, this is Haku. She recently came here from Kiri, and I was showing her around the village today. Naruto answered. It's a pleasure to meet you. Please continue to take care of Naruto-sama, Haku said, clasping her hands and lowering her head respectfully. Shame on you, Naruto-kun. seeing another girl behind Tenten-chan's back, though I have to admit she's a cute one. I am teased. I am nay. Naruto yelled. Now don't get so worked up, here's your ramen. The older man said, as he served the steaming noodles to the two ninja. Itadakimasu. Naruto said, pulling apart a pair of disposable wooden chopsticks. Haku watched Naruto tear into his bowl with amusement, and quite a bit of amazement. She had never seen anyone eat so enthusiastically before. Naruto abruptly stopped eating, and turned to look at her. He swallowed the hanging noodles with a wet slurp. What? Haku blinked. It's nothing, she said. Then eat before it gets cold. Naruto urged. Haku nodded, smiling, and reached for a pair of chopsticks. It's great, she murmured quietly after taking her first bite. Naruto nodded happily, his mouth full to the bursting again. By the time Haku had finished her bowl, Naruto had finished all of his. Surprisingly, Naruto had managed to eat with some dignity, much better than usual, where he almost literally teared through bowls, noodles hanging out of his mouth. The blonde Jinchuruki's sweat dropped as he noticed the father and daughter staring with a bit of a shock in their faces. Is something wrong? Naruto asked after a brief silence. About this scene, there's something odd here, how do I put it? Tochi said, scratching his chin thoughtfully. Well, it's just, usually you just inhale the noodles when you order here. Seeing you actually chew the food, it's a little odd, I answered finally, laughing awkwardly, a bit embarrassed. That's it, agreed old man Tochi. Naruto scratched his head in an offhand manner. Yeah, Tenten-chan and Irika-sensei always tell me to mind my manners when eating when girls are here because it's rude. I guess it just stuck with me, who would have thought? But Naruto, I responded, I see you come in here with Tenten-chan all the time, and you still eat like a vacuum cleaner then. Naruto said, pondering. I guess I've gotten so used to being around Tenten-chan, it's like sometimes I forget she's a girl. I brought her hand to her face, shaking her head in a mixture of pity and disappointment. Naruto-kun. Naruto pulled out his frog wallet, bursting from the pay he received from the A-rank mission, and quickly pulled out several bills. Thanks for the meal. He hopped off of the bar stool grinning at Haku. Let's go. Haku smiled back, feeling his infectious enthusiasm taking hold of normally solemn self once again. Naruto led Haku through the twisting streets of Konoha, finally coming to a stop at a rather shabby-looking apartment complex. Pulling out a key from underneath the mat, Naruto opened the door. I'm sorry it's a little mess, Tenten-chan usually makes/helps me clean up, but Naruto trailed on. It had been more than 10 years since that day her bloodline awakened, killing her parents, destroying most of their home. Since then home had been wherever Zabuza was. Having an actual place to go back to, it was somewhat comforting and a little sad because it meant an end to one part of her life and the beginning of the next. Her mother came from a rich and well-respected family that dated back to the very origins of the mist. Her father was a well-respected, but poor shinobi who married into the family. Together the three of them lived in a large family compound with countless servants to maintain the manor. Most of it was surely gone by now, destroyed by the icy explosion that came with the awakening of her mother's bloodline, one of the most feared in Kiri and indeed the entire world. The shabby apartment could not even compare to the huge compound, big enough to accommodate nearly 100 others. Still, there was a strange appeal in the slightly peeling white walls of Naruto's apartment. I'm home, Haku whispered. She nearly jumped when a hand came down upon her shoulder. Haku looked up, shaken from her reverie. Naruto smiled at her reassuringly. It's all right. Haku nodded, blinking back tears for the second time that day. The apartment was small and the white walls were decorated with various posters of Naruto's. Several potted plants, obviously well cared for, brightened up the otherwise dull atmosphere. It was cleaner than she'd expected. Haku could guess that Tenten helped him clean every once in a while, but the cabinets were stocked with only ramen, and his refrigerator lacked any sort of vegetables or fruit, and his milk was expired. Well, I'll show you to where you can sleep, then I guess you probably want to take a shower, Naruto said. Arigato Naruto-sama, Haku responded. Naruto led the young woman through the small apartment till they reached the bedroom. A small wooden sign that read Naruto hung near the top of the door. A soft creak could be heard as he opened the door to reveal a small, rather bland bedroom furnished with a desk, a couple drawers, a nightstand with a small lamp on top and tucked into the corner, a lone bed with a green Konoha comforter atop it. You can sleep here for now, Haku-chan, at least until I can clean out the guest room. I'll just use a futon, Naruto said, pointing to the bed. I couldn't possibly, Naruto-sama. Haku started to say before Naruto interrupted her with a wave of his arm. Don't worry about it, Haku-chan, Naruto said, smiling and placing a hand on Haku's shoulder. Irika-sensei and Tenten-chan always taught me to be nice to girls. What kind of man would I be if I let a pretty girl like Haku-chan sleep on the floor? Haku opened her mouth like she was about to say something about the sleeping arrangements, but paused, closing her mouth till it resembled a thin, even line, understanding that it would be an insult to refuse the offer. Then shaking her head slightly to show she disapproved, a small smile appeared on Haku's lips. Arigato Naruto-sama. Naruto rubbed the back of his head, embarrassed. Yeah, whatever. Haku, you probably want to get clean before you sleep. I'll unload your things, so you go take a shower, Naruto said, showing Haku the way to his bathroom. Haku nodded and walked into small bathroom. Silently she slipped her kimono from her shoulders, revealing the white wrappings which prevented her still growing breasts from showing, mostly. Gazing at the mirror intently, she noticed they had grown again, a little annoyed that they were showing through, even with loose clothes and bandages. Well, she thought, now that she was no longer a new Gnin, but a lawful citizen of Konoha, it didn't really matter whether she kept her disguise or not. Almost without thinking, her hands automatically folded the light blue yukata Tsunami had given her before she left the land of the waves. Her hands caressed the soft fabric absent-mindedly. Unwrapping her bandages and taking off the rest of her clothes, Haku stepped into the warm shower, letting the hot comforting water wash over her. Outside in his small bedroom, Naruto sighed, his shoulders drooping. His apartment was a small one, having only a living room/kitchen, a bathroom, and a bedroom. There was another bedroom, but Naruto had used it as his ninja equipment room and was filled with shuriken and scrolls. As it was now, there was not really room for two people, let alone a teenage boy and girl. Naruto sighed at the thought of cleaning up the whole room as he unpacked Haku's stuff, setting her clothes, ninja equipment, and other miscellaneous items on his bed. Oh well, maybe Tenten-chan will help. With 3 people it'd go by pretty quickly. Deciding to let Haku take his bed for now and think about the rest later, Naruto unpacked a spare futon in the living room, placing Haku's spare clothes near the bathroom door so that Haku would have something to wear when she got out of the shower. Naruto blushed as he heard the soft pattering of the water on the shower floor through the door, realizing Haku was taking a shower in his apartment. Almost like Naruto blushed heavily, a small amount of blood trickling out of his nose. Shaking his head to clear his thoughts, Naruto changed into a spare t-shirt and shorts, getting ready for bed. Yawning, Naruto put on his favorite froggy nightcap. Crawling underneath the covers of the futon, the exhausted blonde ninja promptly fell asleep. Stepping out the shower, Haku thought as she towel-dried herself off, seeing the clothes Naruto had left for her, my choice in attire is limited. I could only bring so much with me on the road with her mentor, father figure. I'll have to eventually get some new clothes, though I'd hate to burden Naruto-sama. Zabuza-san left me some money. Perhaps I can purchase some appropriate attire with that. Maybe Tenten-san would show me where I could find some clothes Naruto-sama would like for me to wear. After drying her body and combing her long silky hair, Haku slipped into a white yukata, slowly opening the bathroom door. Hearing Naruto's light and by now familiar snoring coming from the front room, the former Nuke smiled. Without a sound, a true testament to her near unmatchable stealth, Haku slipped into Naruto's old room. Unbeknownst to Haku, unease had been building up all day in Haku's chest. It was true that she had been the one who insisted on living with Naruto to protect him, but that didn't stop the butterflies flying around in her stomach. Hesitantly, Haku sat down on Naruto's bed, feeling the unusual, almost comforting support of the mattress beneath her. Needless to say, she hadn't slept on mattresses much, even one as ragged as Naruto's. Finally, Haku mustered the courage to actually lie down on the small bed. It smelled of ramen and green things, which is to say Naruto smelled like a combination of the local forests and ramen, an odd but soothing combination. Smiling contently, she inhaled the fragrance deeply, feeling her worries melt away. Haku turned onto her side, her hands grabbing at the bed's green comforter. However, as comfortable as the bed was, Haku could not sleep. The raven-haired girl tossed and turned under the covers, trying to find a good position, without luck. I guess I'm just too used to sleeping on the ground, Haku said, finally rising from the bed. Pulling at the neck of her slipping yukata, the raven-haired kunoichi sighed, deciding to check to see if her master was sleeping. Having quickly memorized the small apartment's layout, including the squeaky floorboards, Haku's feet quietly patted against the floor as the former Nuke made her way to the living room. Naruto was sleeping, and quite soundly at that, spread-eagled, his blanket only partially covering the frog-patterned pajamas he wore. Smiling endearingly at Naruto, Haku pulled the covers over the sleeping Jinchuriki so that he didn't catch cold. Suddenly Haku stopped, something catching her eye, her head only inches away from Naruto's. Haku could not help but stare at her master as he slept. He's so cute when he sleeps, but it's unusual. Naruto-sama is usually so energetous. Seeing him so calm like this is a little odd, like the wind before a storm. Suddenly a strange urge coursed through Haku, one she'd never felt before in her entire life. For some reason she wanted to bring her lips to meet with Naruto's own. I could. No one would know, least of all Naruto-sama. Slowly Haku brought her lips closer and closer to Naruto's, until they were no more than an inch apart, her heart beating in her chest at 10 times its normal rate. What am I doing? I can't take advantage of Naruto-sama. I don't love him. Not like this, Haku thought to herself. Confused, the raven-haired beauty backed away from the sleeping form of Naruto, clasping her hands tightly together. I'm awake. What a great sleep. I wonder how Haku-chan is doing? Naruto said, rubbing the sleep from his eyes, as he removed his nightcap from his head. Feeling a bit lethargic, he slowly slid off the heavy cover of his futon from his body. Was his futon usually this soft or this warm? Or heavy? Naruto nearly had a heart attack, for the first time actually looking down at his futon. His eyes nearly bulged out of their sockets as he took in the sight before him. Clutching his chest, her yukata slightly askew was a sleeping Haku. Just think CC-chan clutching Chizukun, except replacing the doll with Naruto. What the hell? Naruto screamed. Naruto-sama. Haku said, instantly springing awake. Haku, what are you doing in my futon? Naruto stuttered, pointing towards Haku's messed up yukata. Haku's eyes widened as she realized what had happened. I must have fallen asleep after I tried to kiss. No, I can't let Naruto-sama find out, if he did as she thought, completely embarrassed. Haku-chan? I'm sorry Naruto-sama. I was just a little lonely and frightened sleeping in a strange room, away from you Naruto-sama. Not that your room is strange or anything, it's just Haku trailed off. Naruto sighed deeply. It's alright Haku, I understand it can be a little scary the first night, especially in a cruddy apartment like mine. I'll tell you what, I'll set up my futon in the bedroom too, as long as you don't mind, that way we won't have this problem again, okay? Naruto asked. Hi Naruto-sama. Haku answered. After that little incident, Haku cooked breakfast with whatever she could find in Naruto's apartment, resolving to buy some groceries later that day. After all, they couldn't live off of ramen forever. While Naruto was off at Team 7's meeting ground, Haku started cleaning up the apartment, making it livable for 2 people, and after asking some directions managed to find a couple places to buy groceries for the 2 of them and other necessities for herself. Naruto stopped suddenly as he rounded the first corner he usually took to get to Team 7's training ground from his apartment. Leaning against the fence, dressed in a pink and black variation of her standard Chinese-style shirt and pants, stood Tenten, her arms crossed over her chest. And Naruto-kun, Tenten said, unable to meet Naruto's eyes. So I heard Haku's living with you now. Naruto rubbed his head, caught off guard. Yeah, Haku-chan asked to move in with me, and since she didn't have any place to go, and she didn't know anyone else, I see, the bun-haired kunoichi said, her voice even and without a hint of emotion, in a way that gave Naruto no clue as to what she was thinking. Well, I've got to get going. Gai-sensei is preparing us for the upcoming Chunin exam. We're taking a trip to do some special training, so I might not be able to see you for a while. Tenten said, a hint of sadness in her eyes. Wow, that's great Tenten-chan. I wish I could have came with you guys. Naruto smiled, earnestly happy for his bun-haired teammate. Why yeah, well then, any Tenten said, standing up straight again. A bittersweet smile on her lips, Tenten waved goodbye. Take care, Naruto-kun. Hi Naruto responded, a little confused as to why the weapons mistress was sad. If it were him getting special training by his sensei, then he'd be ecstatic. But Tenten had seemed more sad than anything else. Lost in thought, Naruto watched the retreating form of the bun-haired kunoichi as her figure was lost among the hustle and bustle of Konoha's streets. Tenten walked as fast as she could, barely containing herself from breaking out into a run. Ducking into an alleyway, the weapons mistress blinking back tears. She couldn't help but think how the two had become such close friends in such a small amount of time, how the girl seemed to follow the blonde genin around like a lost puppy, how she seemed to connect at a level deeper than Tenten had ever reached with Naruto, how they were now living together, how unfair it was that the older girl was so much stronger with her bloodline lineage, how unfair it was that she was prettier and more feminine than her, despite the fact she masqueraded as a boy for more than a decade. That girl, she's stealing Naruto-kun away from me, she thought, slamming a fist against the wall. Reaching into the pouch resting against her hip, her fingers found the familiar grip of her favorite kunai, her fingers tracing the familiar grooves etched into her mind better than on the handle. Then biting her lip lightly to clear her head, Tenten calmly walked out of the alleyway in search of her team. After Haku finished shopping for groceries and Naruto had finished his meeting with Team 7 about the upcoming Chunin exams, he and Haku trained together on the same training ground, the afternoon sparring session eventually becoming something of a routine. On rare occasions in the following months, after Team Guy returned from their training trip, whenever they managed to get away from team trainings, Tenten and or Lee trained with Naruto also, one of the few times he was able to meet the busy second-year genin, what with extra team practices and missions taking up nearly all their time. Though Naruto could still talk to the raven-haired kunoichi, Tochi and Ayam, and even Irika-sensei, he was sorely missing the time he'd spent with Tenten. Naruto struggled to learn the basic techniques Haku had to teach him, not being very skilled at nature manipulation or basic stealth, or speed, or taijutsu, but slowly and surely he began to improve. Seeing Lee train for hours on end till he was covered in bruises had taught him that hard work and effort could equal, and even surpass genius, so Naruto trained hard too. Kenjutsu on the other hand was nearly impossible. The head chopper cleaver that Zabuza had left him was nearly impossible to use. It was heavy, cumbersome, and nearly as tall as Naruto, if not taller. It didn't seem like Naruto would ever be able to use it in battle, especially not without a proper Kenjutsu master's training. Naruto sank into his futon exhausted from a night full of sword training, his arms feeling like 2 noodles attached to his body. Thankfully Haku hadn't entered Naruto's futon after that first time, so he could sleep without causing himself too much pain. Zabuza couldn't have thought when he left this sword to me that I could possibly master this huge sword, could he? There must be some trick to what he said, something I'm not getting, Naruto thought as he drifted off to sleep. Wake up Naruto-kun, a mysterious, almost playful feminine voice whispered in the dark recesses of Naruto's mind as he slept in his futon by the bed Haku was now sleeping in. Huh? What was that? Kyubi, is that you? The fox Jinchuruki said in his mind, trying to wipe the sleep from his eyes. Naruto-kun, I'm waiting for you. What do you mean waiting? Who are you? Naruto found himself surrounded by pitch-black darkness, in every direction, as far as the eye could see. This isn't the sewer, Naruto thought with the absent-mindedness that comes with waking from sleep. Be patient. We have so much time. Take your time. It is unwise to rush in before you are ready. Don't be afraid. I don't understand, Naruto said, staring into the darkness. So much to do, so little time, take your time, do not be afraid, now step forward, can you do that? Naruto gulped and stepped forward and then another into the darkness. Power sleeps within you, the power to destroy or protect, give it form. The darkness faded as suddenly as it had come, revealing a frozen wasteland, dominated by gigantic mountain peaks, and smothered completely in snow, unlike anything that Naruto had ever seen before, and indeed unlike anything remotely within the element countries. Where am I? I can't remember anything. This voice was different from the first, whereas the first had a deep, rich, musical, mysterious quality to it. The second voice still seemed to belong to a female, but one much younger, more confused, and more than a little afraid. What is this place? Naruto's eyes strained against the snow and wind. Struggling against the fierce gales, he took a step forward and then another. Who am I? The voice said, questioning. The young woman's voice ringing in Naruto's ears. Slipping on a stone hidden by the snowfall, Naruto stumbled, falling face first into the icy snow, odd black blood gushing from a cut on his temple where he'd landed. As the blood dripped onto the snow, its dark color spreaded, the snow covering the ground becoming jet black. Within seconds the white powdery ground beneath him had become a dense, somewhat liquidish black pool of shadow all around, him stretching endlessly in all directions, swallowing up even the mountains before him, and though he could no longer see the mountains nor the snow, the wind continued to howl loudly, clawing at his face and deafening his ears. Naruto struggled to stand up, to pull himself free from the viscous mixture, wrenching his arm free from the dark liquid. Naruto took another step forward, startled to find his foot begin to sink as if caught in black quicksand. Naruto sank faster and faster until only his torso remained. Naruto struggled and struggled to no avail, the darkness eating away at his clothes and skin, sinking into the darkness. Who are you? Somebody! Anyone! Help me! Naruto yelled out loud, or maybe he was only screaming in his mind, as it was the terrified blonde genin couldn't tell. The shadowy substance caused Naruto to sink and sink until only his hand, outstretched above his head, was visible. You have to answer that, though it may be difficult. With one last feeble attempt to break free, finally his entire body was consumed by the darkness. For the sake of all those connected to you, you must. And for your own sake as well. Naruto was now surrounded by the murky blackness, its thick mixture sapping his strength, dulling his movements. It felt like he was swimming through tar, flailing but unable to go anywhere. Finally, the fox Jinchuruki stopped struggling, his lungs devoid of air, his arms dangling helplessly at his side. Lying there helpless, Naruto cried, tears unwillingly leaking from the corners of his eyes, mixing with the pool of darkness flowing around him. Do not vanish. Suddenly Naruto saw a little girl, not more than 10 years of age, crying as her parents were killed before her eyes, devoured by a monstrous Yoma. Then he watched as the girl was abducted by the Yoma, using her as part of its plans to eat more human flesh. He watched as those villagers stared at her with glaring eyes full of suspicion and fear. Tears ran down her cheeks as she cried, sobbing silently, her voice all but gone. Then Naruto watched as the most beautiful woman the girl had ever seen had walked through the village, easily dispatching several of those monsters, including her own personal torturer. Tears once again flew down her pale cheeks, tears of joy as she was freed from her captivity. However, the newfound joy within the girl's heart could not distract her from the enigmatic woman's pain. So she followed, unwanted, a pest, a nuisance, always struggling. Naruto saw many more images/memories of the woman, always smiling, a fake, sarcastic excuse for a smile, one it seemed she could not break, a mask, hiding the pain, the loneliness within the enigmatic woman's heart. Persist. Never give up, live on. Heartbroken, the little girl followed the enigmatic lady. The two eventually became quite close, and as the flashbacks continued, Naruto could tell the smile was becoming more and more real. The woman talked endlessly with the girl, unconsciously pouring out her heart to the girl, and the girl followed, always listening, always comforting. The same scenario replayed itself: travel to a new town, effortlessly kill a monster, and then travel to a new town. At night the woman watched as the girl slept on her lap, sometimes brushing away a stray hair on the girl's face, always smiling. Naruto thought as he watched, that this must be what having a mother is like. What happened next was a little hazy, filled with a dreamlike aura, but the beautiful woman with her silvery eyes and long hair died. Her once frozen heart melted by the girl. The woman showed compassion and died for it. For a long time the little girl cried, her whole world shaken, unable to go on, unable to live without her precious person. Struggle forward, with all your might. Unable to walk away, the girl became one with the woman. Then the flashes started appearing faster, picking up speed, and the little girl became a warrior. Vaguely, Naruto could catch glimpses of other women like her, many friends and many more as foes. Beside them, Naruto saw large vicious monsters with tentacles, blades, armor, in all manner of shapes and sizes, unfamiliar lands, and blood, lots and lots of blood. Blood was everywhere, its telltale ruby hue dotting the ground from underneath. As Naruto watched this, he couldn't help but think that girl Haku Tenten me were the same. Their childhoods were miserable, they were completely alone, orphans. Finally they found precious people, that they'd do anything to help. Naruto could only imagine the sorrow he'd feel if Tenten and Irika were taken from him. A lone tear fell down as Naruto watched the images, until, no matter how difficult the path you've chosen, finally the images stopped, replaced by one single picture, of a beautiful woman in a form-fitting brown leather outfit, her sword resting in her palm, lying on the ground, blood trickling down the side of her face. One arm clutched her side, racked from pain and numerous wounds. Her hair was so pale a blonde it was almost white, her eyes feral and gold. Still as strikingly different as the two were, Naruto could tell that the woman lying before him was the girl from before. Blood drenched the ground around her. Whether it was her own or someone else's, the woman did not know, could not remember. Still, as much pain as the woman was in, a peaceful smile graced her femininely features. Oddly content, the woman closed her eyes for the last time, the mirthful smile still on her lips, and then, only death remained. Do not disappear! The image of the woman was replaced by another. This one of a Gothic church, giant stained glass windows glittering in the dim sunlight. In the center, a life-size statue of two women stood, so real that the figures seemed almost alive. Back-to-back twin heavenly goddesses, ethereal angels, stood, wings outspread, long hair flowing behind them, their hands clasped in reverent prayer. Suddenly Naruto's very world seemed to pulsate, like the heartbeat in his chest only magnified 1,000-fold, growing stronger and stronger till Naruto woke up with a yell, arms tearing at the covers, his body covered in cold sweat, his heart racing. Well, what did you think? Different, huh? That last part is actually inspired by the first Kingdom Hearts opening. I finished that game so long ago, but that beginning was just so dramatic, one of those awe-inspiring moments that sends a chill up your spine, that I couldn't help but use it to reveal Naruto's spirit. Review email or PM me to tell me what you think about the chapter, if it was too complicated. If you didn't like it, of course it would help if you could suggest how to change it. If you have any suggestions or comments, especially for the Shirkai and Bankai of Tenten or anything else, please contact me. Thanks, Hiro out. To be continued. What if Naruto has harem with femme haku Tenten and hinata? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoyed this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel. And leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.